on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. Forces they do not know they are heard. By forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You already forgot. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend.
Welcome everybody to Everybody's a Mimic. We are an actual play 5th edition webcast playing Icewind Dale, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. I hope you have followed and liked our channel on YouTube. We have moved away from Twitch. If you happen to be joining us, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? For one of our players to at least like it all. Thank you, Ray, for following. Saw that. I'm pretty sure Bitte is also following. Thank you.
Hey, day one, baby.
Day one. Yes. We are on session 26. After our flashback episode last time, we are back to the grind, moving away from Sky Tower Shelter and onto not really greener pastures, but rockier pastures, that's for sure. But let's do some introductions. My name is Corey. I'm your dungeon master. I am also joined by all four of our players today. Let's go around the wheel. First off, we have Blake.
Hello, that's me. I'm Blake, and I play Delnadre Mirakas, a Kalashtar rogue.
Wonderful. Joining Delnadre is his partner in crime, played by Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben. I play Levi Corvallis, and he is an ASMR barbarian / fighter.
And a goody two shoes.
And how
Slash
dare you
partner
accuse him
in
of
crime.
He does his best.
Levi,
Partner in
Confirmed.
legal matters.
Partner in legal.
Partner in solving crime.
Yeah.
partner in evil.
Oh no.
Next up, we have our resident animal lover, Ray.
I play Rosemary Bonecrusher, the half-orc druid, and also sometimes Bree Tealeaf, the halfling woodworker who sort of possesses my body sometimes. It's cool. It's normal. Everything's fine.
And totally not a board-certified surgeon, but don't let anybody find that out.
I did my best. That's what matters. It's the thought that counts when it comes to major surgeries.
That's exactly what I want my surgeon to say whenever they take my gallbladder out.
Yeah.
I did my best. What do you want from me?
When I tell all my victims.
And finally rounding out our group, we have the Honorable Carson.
Honorable, dishonorable. What's the...
What's the difference?
Oh man, I'm flubbing hard. Damn this all. The inscrutable, unmentionable, the lovable, bitte yetimated in the Kalaga. Man, I'm off my game.
We've paused for too long.
Mhm, mhm.
Ignoring the flashback, last we left our adventurers, they had just solved the delayed, satisfied for a time. What would y'all say? What is when it comes to the feud between the two Goliath settlements?
Everything is hunky-dory, and there will never be any further issues.
Come
have-
to it. Oh, go ahead.
We have come to a conclusion.
The feud has ended. That's all that matters. It did end up in a fight club. It ended actually initiating a fight club for many years to come. Instead of actually accepting blame or ownership for the feud, the two leaders have just decided to flip a coin with their fists every year to decide which clan is the bearer of the guilt and which clan is right for that next year, which I think is a wonderful way to keep feuds going without actually having the all nonsense feud anger that comes with it.
Yeah, they get to brawl once a year, and then they stop actually killing each other.
Exactly.
Like the Purge, it works perfectly.
Works perfectly. They have found a new enemy, the Duragar menace, that have been popping up all across 10 towns. We've seen them in
Turns out racism was the answer all along.
Fantasy racism is the answer to many problems we have found. Blizzard of the Coast needs to get on that, but for the time being, we're going to embrace it, as it has allowed us to unite people against another people. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for being part of that, but
And now we're not gonna delve into it any further.
We're not going to examine any sort of cultural meaning behind this. We're just going to accept it at face value.
yes,
Because it is convenient.
It's fantasy racism, the most convenient way to push to move the story along. Anywho, after solving the feud, our players have leveled up to level 5. They've gained some fancy new thingamajiggies. Actually, I think they leveled up a couple of sessions ago, but they are level 5, and they are now preparing to leave Sky Tower's shelter to take a shortcut so that they can make it back in time for the Speakers Council. Because if you have been following along with us, you would remember that there is no good speakers in 10 towns, and they have tried and failed multiple times to take our party out, or to just do nefarious deeds that our parties have stumbled upon and have rectified. But if we do not get back to the Speakers Council in time, who knows what other nonsense they will get up to. So, diving into our story once again, you all have a choice to make. What do you want to do with your, let's say, final few hours, half day with Sky Tower? You're going to be setting off about early midday on the next day, so you have some time to say your goodbyes, to make some promises that you may or may not keep later on, and to just generally further your own character development in a montage.
Yeah.
What is do we have a collective, or do we want individual soundtracks to our montage?
There are individual soundtracks. I hope they're clashing. Cannot have any collectiveness in this montage. Everybody has to go different ways. So it is your own individual characters. So I've written down. Well, we're just gonna go straight off of how we introduced y'all. So first up, we have Delnadre. Delnadre, what are you doing for your montage?
I'm gonna hang out, go talk with the chieftain Arn, and just kind of be like, hey, I don't know how do Goliaths do things, like when people help you with problems, do you like show gratitude? Do you give gifts?
Arn,
do you I mean, if it's you don't have to, like, I don't know. I feel like you'll have a bunch of disposable wealth that y'all don't value.
Arn
But
looks at you.
I'd value it.
Black-eyed, missing a tooth from his fight with the other person. That is
looks good. A good look on you.
What is the name of the Wormdoon Crag leader? I know her name. It is
Ogalai Orc Splitter?
Yeah, Ogalai.
Orc Smasher.
Yes.
Splitter, I think.
Missing a tooth from her.
Right, because she has an ass.
Their fight with Ogalai. He looks you nice, stern, staring you down. Yes. He hands you a tiny bag. It is very tiny. It's, as everyone has probably had an experience similar to this, or at least I hope you have, when you go to any souvenir shop in the United States, they always have that miner's cart full of random rocks. And you get a little tiny bag that can maybe fit 5 rocks, if that. He hands this to you and he says, collect what you want.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I feel like I remember you specifically describing diamonds back there. So I'm just gonna fill the bag up with all the diamonds it can carry, or other valuable gemstones. That seems like the best bang for your buck.
Right. You go back there to where the hoard pile, you could call it, has been kept, and you encounter the 2 little children that were playing in the gold pile before. They don't quite let you get whatever rock you're looking for. In fact, they play a little game of keep away. Anything you show interest in or reach for, they immediately try to tackle and put in their pants.
Ah, darn. This is so frustrating. You children, I'm going to focus my efforts here on this side of the pile. Oh, no, but you're always in the way, as I cast Mage Hand on the other side of the pile.
All right. Roll me sleight of hand with your Mage Hand. I'm going to put it at a face value. No advantage, even if you would have gotten it otherwise. because they are distributing. And I should say, although I may have mentioned diamonds, there are no diamonds. They turn out to be cubic zirconiums.
I could have really used some diamonds because I have Revivify now.
So yes, roll. Let's see, a 1d. Actually, roll 2d. 14.
2d14.
A 7 and a 10. You get 1 Aya Gate. Actually, you get 2 Aya Gates, which are a gemstone that are worth 10 gold each. And you get 1 Moonstone, which is worth 50 gold pieces. So you get 1 Moonstone and 2 Aya Gates. That's how you say that, right?
Okay.
Agate?
I think it's agate.
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 Well, you get 2 agates.
Hey, you're not allowed to say that.
All right, Delnadre, that, while it doesn't take up much of your time, is the end of your montage. Up next is Levi.
I think Levi still feels like shit is the problem.
Yeah,
he's
you
still
did
deep in the recovery. So his montage starts with a nap for sure. And then when he wakes up from his nap, he probably seeks out Kanaika because he does have a deep respect for elders. And he wants to have a cup of tea with her before he goes.
Okay. Do you share with Kanaika any of your problems with pain?
I think so, yeah. I think he would definitely tell her hey, thank you. He would thank her for the instructions to the surgery. It was successful after all, it just didn't feel super great. And then he would tell her about the residual pain that he's having and how, in order to move forward, he's going to need some time to heal and then see what she says.
Right. Kanaika is, she understands your pain, having been part of it, and not really feeling responsible. But he pours you some tea and allows you to, drinks with you, and for the most part, listens to you and comforts you as best as she can. At the end of it, however, she does mention that she slipped something into your tea. It'll help you get to wherever you're going. I hear you have a pretty dangerous journey ahead of you. Wouldn't want you to slip, fall, and cause any more internal injuries, so just watch out for heart attacks.
And I think he blinks a few times and he slowly looks down at the tea and he looks up and he says, "Did you drug my tea? Kanaika, I don't do drugs."
You do now.
Yeah. Kanaika kind of just shrugs and she says, "I could see you're in a bunch of pain, and if it were me, I wouldn't want somebody like you nagging the whole way in this mountain journey. So I just thought we'd do something to help you along, give you some energy, some extra oomph. It should wear off in about 8 hours or so."
And I think he narrows his eyes and then looks back at the tea, which he finished before she said anything, and just slowly sets the little, the cup back down in front of him and just nods and says, "Well, what's done is done." And then he looks up and he says, "I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know. I promise."
Who are you looking to?
Just the sky, just the
Jesus.
top of the top of the cavern.
He is sending a prayer up, apologizing for taking drugs.
So when you
adorable.
When you look up, who are you actually praying or talking to? Father, mother, grandparents?
Well, not to his grandfather Ezekiel.
His grandfather Ezekiel. You see Ezekiel on the ceiling, clutched, grabbing onto the rock formations that hang above you. He looks at you upside down and says, "What a disappointment. Can't even tell that you're being drugged. I hope you're not my only grandchild."
And Levi grimaces and looks at Kanaika and he says, "You see, You see? I'm a disappointment. He says so.
Kanaya looks at you, looks up at the top, looks back at you. Oh, thank goodness. I wasn't sure it was going to work on you, but I'm glad it is. Pay them no mind. Only trust your allies. And then she gets up and walks away because she doesn't want anything else to do with you in this moment.
And he just stares after her with a million questions and like his jaw is just hanging open. He's like, well, all right.
End of montage. Next up, we have
You're expecting one of us to?
I think it was
Okay.
Rosemary. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. I wrote it in a different order than I did, and I forgot for a moment there. Forgive me.
How dare you?
It's right. How dare I? Anyways, Rosemary, what are you going to do for your montage?
Well, I was gonna go see Kanayaka and like see if I can get any more like medical knowledge from her, but I think
she has a lot of medical knowledge to give. You would walk into, like, if you were looking for her, just gonna preface this, you would walk in to see Levi just kind of like mouth open with drool kind of just coming on down.
I will like look at her and be like, did you manage to get him some painkillers?
She shakes her head.
Oh. Is that normal?
She shrugs. Everybody deals with it differently.
Okay. Well, we're gonna be leaving in a few hours, and I mean, you're the only person I've ever met who had firsthand experience with a surgery like that before, like 2 days ago, but I was wondering if you had any other medicinal knowledge that maybe I could just like cliff notes or like something. I don't know. I want to learn what I can from you and maybe return the favor. I have some methods that we used to use back home.
She looks at you. What kind of methods are you? How are you going to present these methods? Do you have them written down? Are you going to oral transcribe them to her?
I mean, there's like some oral history, and I imagine like a little bit of like presentation of like, oh, this is how we wrap bandages. Like, this is a salve that we use, and like these are the like herbs that we use to do it. If you have the opportunity to get these via trade, or if you can find them growing.
Kanayaka would accept any gifts or any knowledge that is written down. Although any kind of oral history you're willing to give, she would probably kind of stop you and be like, look, I had to give Levi some painkillers, and I'm not going to lie. I made him in one. I drank the same tea as him. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll write it down for you.
I'm happy to listen to you. It just wouldn't come across and land in the memory banks.
I'll write it down for you. You can have Harad can read it for you later.
Gotcha. She walks over to her bookshelf. We'll say she has a bookshelf. Probably not a bookshelf, just a little nook. Pulls out this old ragged journal and tosses it to you. This is what I've written down in my years. Some of it's pretty helpful. I will say most of it is probably a bit drastic for your civilized compatriots. But if it does the trick, it does the trick, right?
Yeah, I'll take what notes I can. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Most welcome. Then she walks over to the corner, sits down, and begins to whittle.
All right, I will spend my time trying to copy as much of her book as I can.
So she handed it to you so you could keep.
Oh, I keep it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will.
Would you like to?
I would like to be a babysitter for Levi's trip, and while reading what I can.
So there is some pretty helpful knowledge in the book. 65-70% of it, though, is like she said, very drastic. Find the problem, cut it out, close the wound.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that remedy goes from things from headaches to intestinal problems to splinters in the foot.
Ooh. Okay. I mean, good to know. Share of cultural knowledge, but like, yeah, I definitely will not be doing all of that.
And last but not least, Bitte. What are you up to?
Well, I think Beta is going to. I think Beta is going to spend some time. If one of his siblings came up for the fight, he'll try and spend some time with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would also want to collect a little bit of Chardonnay
Okay.
to take with him to the Yetis to show them. Show them, be like, hey, this is like corrupted properties, blah blah. But I don't know if you might be able to use it as a counterpoint to some stuff for some cleaner shit.
Good. So, your time with your family is refreshing. It is. It's been a while since you saw them, and even though you had met them in Wormdune Crag, your mothers, right? Your mothers,
Yeah.
were out and about, so you didn't get as much quality time with them. They did come and visit to see the fight. They were in Sky Tower Shelter. Sky Tower Shelter is largely being abandoned to move over to Wormdune Crag. While there will be some people who will staying behind, Rahi with his with the Griffins and a few other Goliaths, it's going to be shrunken down in size, and you get some nice quality time. They kind of talk about the happenings in the mountains, and you're able to gain a point of inspiration from your conversations that you can use on your trip to Sky Tower to the Yeti's village. Yeah. So it is very limited. You're only going to be able to use it on the way, and whether you use it for yourself or whether you give it to somebody as kind of shouting out instructions to allow them to re-roll a roll. That is so it's not going to be typical inspiration where you can advantage or re-roll. It's only going to be a re-roll. So it's going to be a oh shit moment, get out of jail free card.
Sweet.
And you are very easily able to collect some Chardonnay safely to be able to take with you to the Yetis.
Go.
All right. That is the end of the montages. Montage. We are now ready to head on out. If you have any basic gear, things that you'd like to acquire, let me know now. Just shout it out, write it in the chat. Now is an excellent opportunity for you to go out and grab any kind of things that you need, whether it's some new rope, whether it's some extra rations, whether it's climbing kits, things you have. There's a lot of gear they're going to be abandoning at Sky Tower just sake of not having to travel it, and they're willing to let it go to your party to help you along with your journey.
Yeah.
Happen to have a. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Beta will grab climbing kits for everyone and 2 block and tackles.
Nice. They wouldn't happen to have a diamond worth 300 GP that they're leaving behind, or many diamonds worth collectively 300 GP that they are leaving behind.
They do not. And I would have guaranteed you Delnadre would have probably grabbed some of those if he had the opportunity.
Yeah, that's valid. No worries. Just thought I would ask.
All right. Well, with that settled, do we have any last minute things y'all would like to accomplish before we move on?
So I think Levi would also go with Beta to the storerooms just to get an idea of what's there and sort of just restock all of the stuff that he can think of might be useful. Get a new thing of rope because I think one of his ropes was either used for something and we separated it, so he gets like a new 50-foot rope and whatnot. Just sort of restock his, get extra torches and all of the good stuff.
Well done.
Yeah.
As you're more into your trip, you've noticed that the pain you had is pretty much non-existent, except for the fact that, like, when you walked into the storeroom, it looked like the same storeroom you had on your in your homeland, in your castle. Like,
oh, fun!
Like, you walk in and you're like, oh, what is happening? But you walk around, you grab what you need, and you kind of walk away. Like, just having to deal with some minor hallucinations, but generally pain-free, which is really good because it would have sucked traveling between here and there, dealing with major intestinal problems.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to find out how bad the intestinal problems are when this wears off.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope you can get someone who can help you before then.
Maybe one of the Yetis.
Let's hope. Let us hope. So let's move on. The party is departing from Sky Tower Shelter. The weather is dreary, not very pleasant, and generally not going to be a fun day. You can tell there already as you begin to leave that a storm is on the horizon. It is moving across 10 towns and is getting ready to crash into the spine of the world, which is going to create problems for you all as you are very high up. Let me shift this out of the way so we can give you the view. So we are basically going to be traveling from that little thing along this over here and coming even higher to the green square. There's your end goal. As you prepare, it is about midday, getting ready to leave. What kind of a journey are y'all trying to go with?
A safe one.
Hopefully
all of us make it alive.
Bitte, is that your understanding? A safe one?
So they're like, yeah, a safe one, and Beata's like, okay, the safest thing we can do is move quickly.
Yeah.
And so it'll be like not taking outright dangerous stuff, but also not taking like, oh, this is super stable, but oh, we're gonna absolutely lose some time and get caught in this fucking storm in a bad position. So
the best balance between safe and quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That Bitte can calculate for us.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let us kick it off then. Let's look at some measurements here. Measurements. Nope. Dead. Measurements.
Is there any chance we could have a griffin?
They
Set of griffins to carry us at least to the next mountain.
They look at you all and say no. Mostly because the Sky Towers Goliaths don't ride their griffins. They use them more as hunting partners. So the griffins aren't really reared to be mounts. They would cause more hassle than before. Now, maybe somebody really light like Delnadre could be carried by the strongest griffin, but Bitte, Levi, and Rosemary, it would be a bit too much for them. And Delnadre, it wouldn't be like, you wouldn't be in control of your griffin.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know how to control a griffin.
You would just be carried to wherever that griffin decided they wanted to take you to.
Bye guys. I guess I'm going this way.
See you later.
So, Bitte, we are going to begin. So, looks like going along with snowshoes, we're going to make pretty good pace. It's going to take us.
And Bitte has his thing to prevent difficult terrain, right?
Yes, I will go ahead and post Vita's abilities. His navigation and travel ability.
Love that ranger shit.
Looks like we got about 6 miles of really high rocky terrain in order to go. Yes, difficult terrain does not slow your group's travel. It's true. With Bitte's experience, you will not be slowed. You'll be moving at a very good pace. You are also not going to be dragged behind by Levi's general pain. The only issue is that we're still going to be rolling, and bad rolls are not so much really about your group's failure, but that the weather is working against you. So, whoever has the best survival skill or survival check, we're going to need
I have a +4.
a handful.
Bitte has a +5.
Hell yeah.
All right, Bitte, give us a check. And for the most part,
Remember, you have your advantage.
Continue.
Or not
going,
advantage.
Yeah, you have your reroll. Continue going until you get below a 15. Or I say stop.
Also, Rosemary, I feel like you should probably have a 5.
My
wisdom is not.
I'm not.
Solid.
I'm not proficient.
That makes sense. So, 19.
Good.
14.
Not bad enough to do anything. You not really get slowed down, but you have to backtrack a little bit as you walk down and down some mountain paths and find that they have eroded away since your last travel.
I forgot to think about trees.
Lots of people
Sorry,
don't think
for
about
this
trees.
stretch, I just need. Yes, but you have to be actively thinking about trees. So we got to go back about a quarter mile.
Mm-hmm. So it is currently with 2 treks down. You are 1 mile into the journey. You are 3 hours into the journey. Continue to go.
23.
Yep, that is good. Keep on going. We're actually going to go with when you do it very successfully, which you did in the beginning and the end. I'll give you a bit more of your travel speed and distance, but anything below a 15 is going to cut away what you would have gained that hour.
I'll go ahead and use my little thing just to make it a 16.
Okay.
And do we still have our every session we get a free inspiration?
Let's. No. Actually, yes.
I could hear you rolling a D2.
Yes.
Flipping a coin.
Yes, you do still have a free inspiration as you get every session. That is different from the one. So it almost as if, yeah, it's fine. All right, continuing on, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. We've made it 4 miles down the road. Now 3.5 miles down the road, we have made it. Let me draw this little red line. Freehand. Red. Oops. Doop.
What's the weather like?
Doop. Very dreary, very cold, and you are getting to the point where the storm that has been looming over 10 towns and has been moving its way towards the Sky Tower shelter or Spine of the World is getting ready to crash. So where you guys are sitting right here, you have a little bit of a mountain range right over. You are seeing clouds kind of roll over the top of that mountain range and are moving in very quickly. High winds, being as tall as high up as you are, rock slides and just general erosion that has happened with the lack of a spring. There is chances, as always, for an avalanche. But we haven't gotten there yet. As long as Bitte continues to lead you guys down a good road, you will not have any issues. Was there another reason why you were asking about the weather?
While the weather is clear, I'm going to let Tansy fly around.
Mm-hmm. It was a good opportunity.
Stretch your wings while you can, girl.
24.
So look. Do you
good.
see any Yetis? Do you see any Yeti villages?
With that 24, just for a little flavor, I'll say, it's just like, okay. And he starts like actively, like he turns 90 degrees and starts walking downhill. You're like, why is he doing that? And then we walk for like 5 minutes and then realize we're at the top of the hill. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? It's like weirdness. It just is.
Weird things happen.
Fuck. 9.
9. Unfortunately, the weirdness has caught up to y'all. You hear as the just in this past hour, the storm has caught up to your group. It has dropped visibility. Although Bitte knows his way, the weather also is playing tag with your, or playing keep away with your survival skills, and has led to dun 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 an avalanche. I need somebody to make a 2d6 times 100.
2d6. 11 times 100 is 110.
110. All right. There is an avalanche right above you guys, 110 feet away.
Wait, times 100 is 1,100. Sorry.
Okay. About to say.
I'm
a dumbass. Is the problem?
It's 1,100.
Yeah, 1,100. There we go. And I was looking and I was like, huh, that sucks, because these things travel pretty fast, so it's already upon you. Anyways, I need everyone to roll me initiative.
Oh no!
I rolled pretty good considering.
Corey, question for you.
Yes.
Am I? Have I regained any more HP, or am I where I'm at?
You've regained your HP. I know we gave you exhaustion. We didn't get you to the level that cuts your HP in half, correct?
Oh, but like I did have a surgery, so we had decreased my HP for that.
Yeah, but you've had some long rests since then.
Yeah. Let's go with this way, because you know, as with all things with D&D, your HP doesn't actually it's more your will to continue in a fight or to continue in general versus your actually health, whether or not you're dead or not. You're up to normal with Kanaika's medicine. At least you're feeling as if you're up to normal.
But I still have my 2 levels of exhaustion, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me mark that.
Who else do we have here? Ray, Rosemary, you are 20, and
Surprisingly good for initiative, and I'm glad for it.
I just gotta add Levi, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, let me make sure I select my character before I do dumb things.
Calling somebody out,
huh? No, I just like it's a toxic trait of mine. I always forget, and then every DM I have on Roll20 has to type it in manually because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. All right. So, fun stuff. You are in a blizzard. No, you're not. You will have reduced visibility, not so much in a blizzard. So you hear the rumbling. You've all gone through this before. We've already had one avalanche. You know what is about to happen.
Not again.
Levi, roll me Constitution. No, Sanity. Intelligence? Charisma?
Levi?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. What would you like me to roll?
What do you believe better represents your sanity? Your charisma or your intelligence?
I think it would be more wisdom, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's a sanity thing, right? Like, intelligence is like book smart, the things you learn. Charisma is your ability, like your interaction with people. But I feel like your sanity is your wisdom. Does that make sense to everyone else?
Yeah, I think wisdom is sanity.
Yeah, like the way that's, like, you know, when people get charmed, they have to make a wisdom save.
Right. But considering you're hallucinating, are you intelligent enough to determine it, or are you charismatic enough to know that you need to persuade yourself to ignore the hallucination? But are you wise enough to recognize the danger of an avalanche while you are tripping? All valid questions.
All valid questions. I mean, wisdom and charisma. My wisdom and charisma stat are exactly the same. My intelligence is lower, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving you some agency here, so it's up to you. Roll me a save.
Well, I will roll a wisdom save. Is this avalanche? Do I recognize? First of all, the question is: do I recognize the avalanche as an avalanche, and do I recognize the danger that I'm in on my own? And the answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. Let's see here. So with the 2, you recognize the roar, but it almost puts you into like you feel as though you're back on the brow of a ship, prow of a ship. The roar of the ocean smashing against your the hull.
I think Levi. Who's closest to Levi? Like who's standing in front of him?
What's standing in front of Levi is a massive 300-foot wave about to go out and crash on your ship. Like one of those oil tank. Go on.
Rosemary is staying close to Levi just because, like, that's her patient. But, like, yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't think he sees her right now.
So Levi,
if there's a massive wave in front of Levi, the first thing Levi does is he tries to wrap a rope around himself and tie it to the prow of the ship.
All right, so impending avalanche is coming. Levi looks up as looking up now. While each of you don't really have the visibility to see the avalanche, you can hear it, you can feel it, you know where it's coming from. You need to get out of the way. Levi has wrapped himself with a rope and is trying to tie himself to a nearby rock, like a jagged little rock outcropping. So, avalanche is 1,100 feet to your north.
Right.
Not north.
How wide is the avalanche?
The avalanche is 300 feet wide.
300 feet wide, and how far to one side are we?
At this time, you cannot tell. You do not have visibility of the avalanche to tell whether or not you are in the middle, near the end.
Is it Rosemary's turn?
It is. You are the first person to react.
Rosemary turns to the others and says, I've got Levi, run, and I would like to wild shape into a moose. Which might be complicated because I think the only moose,
I do want to pause here. We have gone through multiple sessions of a particular animal that is very well, it is adept at traversing mountains.
Oh, yeah,
Would you still like to be a moose?
Is a goat big enough to carry Levi?
Be a really big goat.
Because my thought is, I need to turn into something that I can scoop up Levi and run through the snow.
There is a giant goat.
Goat-shaped moose.
So you have a mountain
donkey.
Goat.
Be a donkey. Sure-footed.
Giant goat
You do have a donkey. Can you turn into?
Giant goat is challenge rating 1/2. So I think Rosemary in particular would have giant goat.
Yep, and he's large, so you can take Levi with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna turn into a giant goat.
Okay.
My brain went to there's a video that's been going around Reddit recently of like a goat or the moose charging through snow, and so that was the first thing my brain thought of.
It's not a bad thought. Like snow moose, it probably would have been well done. I mean, I don't know how well mooses traverse mountains, but it's not terrible. So you are a goat.
Yeah.
You are looking at Levi. Levi has, in his reaction, tied himself to the rock. You are a goat. You no longer have opposable thumbs. Go.
I have horns, and he tied himself to the rock. Can I just, scoop him so, the place where he tied it just slips over the top of the rock? Like, I'm imagining the rock as, like, roughly triangle shaped.
Let us see.
Or,
Yes,
like, at least round that he's tied himself to the widest part of it.
Roughly triangle shaped, yes, but in his hallucination, he thought it was a mast, so it is at least tall enough for him to make that mistake. So I would say
how tall is a giant goat?
It's you're a large creature, so size of a horse, maybe a little bit smaller than a horse, like a donkey. It's not impossible. If that's what you want to go, we'll play that out.
Levi reaches forward. He reaches forward in panic and attempts to start tying the goat down so it doesn't get pulled off the ship by the wave.
Large is 10 foot by 10 foot. A hippogriff is a large creature. So how large is a large goat?
All right, Rachel.
Opposed.
Rosemary, Levi has chosen in his additional reaction to try to loop you down to hold you to the mast of the ship. Opposed grapple. If you succeed, you are able to pull the rope to the point where it unravels, it breaks, whatever, and Levi will be free. If you don't succeed, it will be strength versus strength.
Okay.
Wait.
Which she would have advantage because of size difference.
Exactly.
Oh, so I have advantage. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2d20, and with a goat, it's a 17, so I have a +3. So I have a 14.
All right, 14.
Is it just straight up strength, or?
Yeah,
like just a strength check? Or?
We're just going. I mean, that's what you did, right, Rachel? Just a straight up check.
Yeah, I did strength check. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. Oof. The goat, while not fully tied down, is entangled in the rope. Levi is pulling at you while you are trying to pull at him.
Levi is screaming, "No, no, goat! You don't want to get washed off the ship!"
Let's move on.
I'm pretty sure this is my turn.
We're going to end your turn there. You have moved closer to Levi. You have wild shaped. You have done some stuff. You are wrapped up. He has some rope around your horns, as well as probably got maybe a little bit around your upper body, maybe your neck, maybe your torso. You haven't been fully tied down yet, but he definitely has you in a grapple. We'll see how things continue to go. Bitte.
So.
And I should say this, you all have enough visibility to see each other. It's just the avalanche, which is so far up that you're having difficult seeing where it is comparative to you.
Yeah, so seeing this, I think Bitte would... Does it look like if Bitte is able to cut the rope that Rosemary would be able to get him, probably?
Yes. If I understand what you're saying. Like, if you can Bitte, cut the rope, you can free her? Free Rosemary? Yes. If you get over there and you slice the rope, whether in between Levi and the goat, or just across, like if you just slammed a knife against the rock and it would just fall apart, it might still leave Levi and Rosemary entangled, but at least they would be able to move away from the rock. So you have some choices there.
Gotcha. Ignore the -3.
So 13. It's an unmovable object. I'll give it to you. You throw the hand axe. Where were you? I guess what question? What were you trying to hit?
The rope. The rope where it's attached. The rope where it's attached to the rock.
Okay. Yep. You're able to throw a hatchet. It doesn't quite cut through all of the rope, but you cut enough so that it loosens its hold. And Levi, the hand axe throwing out of nowhere, because Bitte isn't quite in your hallucination yet, gives you a little bit of a...
Call this the first turn of combat. And thus give me advantage.
it gives you a little bit of a like a what was that? Roll me wisdom, or yeah, roll me a wisdom save to see if you're able to snap out of it and realize where you are again.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Come on, big money.
Believe in the me that believes in you.
Suspense.
Believe in a thing called
Levi.
love. Just listen to the rhythm of our hearts.
Levi, are you rolling a wisdom save?
I'm trying.
Okay.
For some reason, it's not letting me. Hold on.
I keep hearing deduce, but I don't.
There we go.
But yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
16.
All right,
Not bad.
16. Yeah, you snap out of it, realizing one that the goat you were trying to wrestle is, well, it's still a goat.
Probably me.
But you're also on the side of a mountain, and you're no longer on the prow of a ship, or deck of a ship. Bitte, you threw your hand axe. You still got your movement left. Where are you running? Behind? Forward?
Forward. Because if we go back, then there's a chance we might lose progress and find ourselves with an impassable area between us.
All right. You are moving forward. You've moved 30.
And he calls out to the others, "This way." Also, are they still tied to the rock?
They are not. Well, the rope has loosened up. Levi has snapped out of his hallucination, and you probably could see it, where he's just kind of like looking around, bedazzled with the.
Okay, gotcha. I was checking in
Bedazzled.
case because he can
Befuddled.
throw another axe.
Yeah,
If
no.
need be. I figured I would check.
I mean, you
Levi's
could
been covered in tiny stick-on gems.
You could throw another axe to cut the rest of the rope, but Levi will be able to undo it pretty simply, or pretty quickly on his turn. So you could waste an axe. Well, more likely you're wasting more of the rope, but
I will keep the axe.
All right, perfect. So you're moving 30 feet. And then next up we have Levi. Levi, you have no reactions. They've been used.
I think Levi looks at Goat Mary, and he just sort of makes like a, like the my bad face, like the ooh.
Yeah.
He makes that face and he says, "I am so sorry. Kanaika drugged me before we left. I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs." And then he runs to try to follow Bita as far as he possibly can.
All right, moving how many feet? You didn't do any actions, so you can dash. Let me make sure you can dash. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to dash. Should be no reason why you can't dash. So.
What's your speed? Out of like curiosity.
My speed is 30.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess he'd dash, and then go 60 feet.
All right. Next up is the avalanche. It roars. Why did that go to 20? That should be 10. The avalanche roars as it moves further and further down the mountain, crushing whatever resistance that lives above you, and powering its way towards you. Delnadre.
Oh God! Okay, well it looks like the rock rope situation has been sorted out. So I'm just gonna dash, and then I'm gonna dash again and sprint off in the direction that Levi and Bitte went.
All right. So Levi had just barely passed you, Delnadre. How far can you travel? 60 with a dash?
90.
Oh, 90 because you have
I
two
can dash
dashes.
twice. Because I'm the rogue.
All right. You find a little bit of a little cave at 90 feet forward. It kind of
Guys,
like
I found shelter.
a little resting spot. Not really something you can really. I mean, you could all pack into it, but it's just a good place for you to stop should you wish to stop.
Guys, I found shelter. Maybe.
The avalanche roars down again. Good God, what is happening with this stupid thing? It has moved since in this turn. It has moved 600 feet.
That's a lot of feet.
There is only 500 feet that now separates you. Although you're not quite aware of that, but over the table, it is 500 feet.
So, can we tell now how far we are from the edge of it?
Roll me perception.
22.
Is there a roll for that, or does it just automatically go 600 feet around?
A roll for... No, it automatically goes 600 feet around. It automatically moves 300 feet at point 10 and point 0.
Shit. Okay.
It's not necessarily deadly, but you do get exhaustion with an avalanche, so that could be deadly. Anywho, 22 perception. Rosemary, you recognize that your spot, as it currently is, you have about 120 feet to be able to get to the edge, or at least to be able to get to where Delnadre is, where there is relative safety.
Wait, hold on. Delnadre was that far ahead of us?
Delnadre moved to 90 feet.
So how far was he?
So, regardless of anything, it's 300 feet wide. Whoops. Delnadre's cave is not at the end of the avalanche. My apologies. He is 90 feet. No, he is 120 feet away from you right now, Rosemary.
Sorry, 120 feet from me?
Yes.
And
you're pretty close to the edge. You are going to be running. You're running into it. If you can get to Delnadre, you believe, this is just without any rolls, you would be able to survive it. It's a little outcropping. You go into it, and you guys dig your way out. Right? I mean, simple enough.
Like that rock in Mulan.
Yeah, Beta would have before we came up. Beta would have given a quick overview of what you're supposed to do in the case of an avalanche. Because if you're on the top, and if it happens while you are on it, then you want to try and increase your surface area and ride it. If it comes down onto you, you want to try and get something above you, an outcropping or something to shield yourself so you're not carried down. And then you want to make a bowl with your hands in front of your face so that you have a pocket in front of your face to provide room for you to breathe without inhaling snow. And so that you can spit into the void and see which way up is.
So if I have a speed of 40 feet as a giant goat, if I run 40 feet forward, who is within 10 feet of me?
Well, Levi, you dashed, correct, Levi?
Levi dashed, so you went
Yeah,
60
I dashed.
feet.
So Levi,
I think at this point,
Levi is currently 70 feet ahead of you.
Well,
Wait,
Rosemary and I
how?
were right next to each other.
We were
so I
next
should
to
be
each other.
No, my apologies. He is 80 feet away from you.
Is Rosemary
going-
sliding away?
Am I going the opposite direction? Like, what the fuck?
when
Oh
you
no,
went,
Rosemary, you're standing on one of those airport.
Rosemary, okay,
conveyor belts.
Rosemary and
So-
Levi were standing next to each other.
Correct.
Levi went 60 feet in one direction.
Correct. Yes, so he is 60 feet. My bad. Not
He is
80
60 feet.
Okay.
Delnadre is
He is-
120 feet.
He is 80 feet in what I am writing here on my table, but that has nothing to really do with your own situation.
Okay.
When you turned into a goat, Rosemary, you walked back a little bit. was what I was trying to in my where I had
Yeah.
things along. We never really went through the order of where you are standing, but I went on with how it was positioned on the map. So he is 60 feet away from you right now, Rosemary. If you travel dash with 40 feet of movement speed, you can make 80 feet and leave Levi in your dust.
Yeah, but then I'm fucked because I'm not to the thing, and I'm also not next to Levi.
Correct.
Okay, this is the point where Levi would shout out to Rosemary. He would yell and say, "Come to me! I have magic that can protect us."
Meh. And I will run my full 40 feet, and then at the end of my 40 feet, I will drop Wild Shape and yell to Levi, "I have magic too, come to me!" And I will hold my action to cast Wall of Water when he gets within 10 feet of, or like closer than 10 feet of me, because that I could make a 20-foot diameter
Wall of water. That's interesting.
wall of water. It's
how
the
strong?
best I can.
How strong is a wall of water? Does it list it? Can you
So,
throw the
There's a
spell check?
very interesting thing. Spells that deal cold damage that pass through the wall cause the area of the wall they pass through to freeze solid. Each 5-foot square section has an AC of 5 and 15 hit points. So, it has like rules for what happens when like ice goes through it. It is 30 feet long, I can make a ringed wall 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick.
Right. Yeah.
Any ranged weapon that attacks has disadvantage. Fire damage is halved, and then the cold damage. So I don't know if a thing causes cold damage, but like I'm assuming a wall of water would like at least deflect.
It would definitely you'd get some snow coming through, but just because it's magic, it would freeze, right? I mean, you are very cold. It's gonna freeze. The big issue is whether or not it would be able to hold up against, because the avalanche does do damage. So I would attack your wall of wall of water. AC 5. It's really just rolling to see how long you can withstand it. To see how long.
Maybe it might do like a barrier while Levi also does magic.
Right.
What if you did a 10-foot wide wall just above you that was 3 feet thick?
Oh, that could work, because each 5-foot section of 5-foot square section has a AC. So like in theory, 5-foot square section is.
Would that double it up where you'd have basically 2 layers of a 5-foot section and a 5-foot section?
Maybe.
Is that what you're? I'm not even going to try to assume I could do that there.
Wait, no, I can do 30 feet long, 10 feet high, and 1 foot thick. So I can't make it thicker. The thickness is 1 foot.
Yeah, but if it folds like over on itself, like if you did a zigzag.
Would you allow that, DM?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, then I'd do that.
It's not really a combat situation. So I mean, this is like you're trying to stack as much of this wall to be able to create a
barrier. Honestly,
Yeah.
if I could, I would make it in like a V shape to try to redirect the snow around us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, really, what you're trying to do is but it needs to be thick enough to because if it's each 5-foot section has an AC, but if you had it stacked, so it's okay, I could do it's 10 feet long, but it's now stacked 3 feet thick, right? So each thickness would be a different 15 hit points. So if you did that, we'll give you 45 hit points, right? For that.
45 hit points for each 5-foot section. So it would be
15 hit points for each 5-foot section.
So if it's 10 foot wide, that would be twice. That would be 90 hit points in total.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you shout that out and you ready your wall of water. Now you readied your wall of water specifically with waiting for Levi to come at you.
Yeah, let me ask this.
Where is Bitte? And
that was my question. Yeah, are we fairly certain that Bitte can make it to the outcropping?
I guess.
So currently,
Bitte's probably 20 feet. 20. Bitte's probably. Well, he ignores.
You're 45 feet behind Delnadre.
Yeah.
Feet wise.
What's the thrown range on? What's the thrown range on a hand axe?
60.
60.
60?
Yeah, you were within
Okay.
60 feet.
Yeah,
so that's no problem there.
Yeah, so he's either like, if he's the farthest he could be away, 90 feet, or
let's see, with Levi having sprinted,
actually the farthest he could be away would be
Levi. So Levi's only about 5 feet ahead of you. And no, sorry, you're at 105. Delnadre's at 150. Bitte's at 105. Levi is at
60. Or
80.
You said I was at 80, which means Rosemary is.
Rosemary readied her action, so she can't dash, so she's 30 feet.
I can't dash, but I'm 20 feet behind him because I had a speed of 40 as a goat.
Right, so you are at what does that put you at?
60.
60. Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
So Bitte, as long as you can run 45, you can make it to the outcropping with Delnadre, or you can turn around and run back to be with the three of us, or the two of us.
I think.
Yeah, and we'll move on to Bitte's turn. Unless Rosemary, you had any other changing for your held action.
No, I think if I can double up the water wall, I'll definitely do that.
All right, but to get back to what I was saying, you had specifically said your held action was when Levi.
Yeah, because as long as Bitte can get to Delnadre, which it sounds like he can.
Right. So, are you saying that you would not cast Wall of Water if Levi was not there with you?
If Levi either comes within range of me or goes to the other safety, I will cast Wall of Water. As long as I know Levi is safe, I will cast safe, being either with me or going to the other outcropping.
Okay. So you are holding your Wall of Water before the fact that you have ensured that Levi is in safety. At least your assumption of safety.
Or at least until I know what Levi is planning.
Doing. Yeah.
Yeah, like what he's doing. Like if he either decides to come to me or decides to go to them, I will cast it when it is. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Good. I accept it.
Yeah, so I think Beta looking back and forth between Rosemary and Dell. Looking back and forth between Rosemary and Dell and realizing that Rosemary is not going further forward. Beta's mental calculus is going to say, well, let's be real. His mental algebra, he can't do that with this. His mental algebra is going to say, Dell is in about as safe a place as he can be. Rosie is doing something, I don't know, foolish or brave or ingenious, but either way, she's the more likely one to be carried away. Dell can stay in one place. And Beta is going to slash one hand through the air and dive to his, or he's gonna stick his tongue out, slash one hand through the air, and then dive through a tear in it. And he's going to appear behind Rosemary ripping through another tear in space.
Nice.
It's like, what are you doing? What is the plan?
Oh, hi! I thought you were gonna go to the thing. I have a plan, sort of. As soon as Levi gets here, I'll do it.
What is it?
A wall, big water wall.
Okay, and he positions himself to, when the water wall comes, then kind of brace in front of where it is. So he will take a dodge action and position himself in kind of like a braced position. And when the wall goes up, he'll just kind of be like a big thing trying to shield Rosemary.
Okay. Like to the point of trying to like prop up the wall with your shield. Like that
just
kind
like
of.
Like I feel like I mean I don't feel like he can't brace himself against water, and it's probably not going to like freeze solid, and then he gets a chance to brace.
Right.
So he's just like crouched in like a very stable position. Like if he were going to like receive like a charge from a line of enemy infantry, like that's the position he's in.
Got it. Okay. I like it. Yeah, so all right, Bitte.
He's trying to be the tip of the beer of the V. I was going to say V, and then I was going to say spear, and then a B came out.
Beer.
Tip of the beer.
Levi, you are up.
Now Levi is the closest one to Delnadre, right?
God damn it.
In theory, yes, but you should go.
Yes. So
I'm not going to tell you what you do.
He turns and he looks at Delnadre.
80 feet. So you have, was that 70 feet
20
to go?
feet. I'm 20 feet away from Rosemary, and I'm
Right.
70 feet away from Delnadre. I know Levi knows that Delnadre is very fast. He just watched Delnadre run very fast. And he looks at Delnadre, and he looks at the avalanche. And I don't remember the numbers that you said. I don't remember how far it is.
500 feet.
Does Levi... It's 500 feet away. Does Levi... I'm trying to think if Levi believes that Delnadre can make it to where Rosemary is.
No. No. I mean, come on, guys. We gotta be serious. Do you all believe Delnadre is going to leave the safety of his outcropping?
Hello.
To run?
You know what? Levi is going to give him the option. He turns and he shouts to Delnadre. He says, "Delnadre, come! We can protect each other!" And then he runs to Rosemary.
Okay. All right.
And
this place is so safe, right?
As he's running to Rosemary, he says, he like gestures behind him to where Delnadre is, and then like taps his wrist in an implication of like, wait for Delnadre.
Am I not good here?
You found basically like a cave, so I mean,
I look at, okay, like I said, I had my trigger as my trigger, so like I'm not gonna change it, and I'm just gonna like as flavor, I'm gonna look at Levi, I'm gonna look over his shoulder at Delnadre. I'm like, Delnadre's not gonna fucking move. Like he's in a safe place, and as soon as Levi gets within the range, I'm gonna do my wall.
all right, wall is up.
It's not
Levi,
now that it's not a circle. Like technically, Delnadre could still run, but like I have my wall up, and my wall can last for 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Levi is going to hold his action when he gets there until he knows what Delnadre is doing.
Okay. All right. We'll let you delay your action to right before the second avalanche move, which is essentially when the avalanche washes over you. So
exactly.
Moving on. Avalanche. That's why I assume avalanches sound like.
I'm an avalanche. Go get you.
Just pure sound. Just God damn it, avalanche. Stop going to 20.
Hey, y'all. I'm the avalanche. I'm coming for you.
So, avalanche is now 200 feet away.
I'm going to squish you with my snow.
Delnadre, I mean, everyone here has been through an avalanche before. You know how quickly it's coming. You are in you have found a rocky outcropping or like an incropping cave. Something you can hug against to it that has rock above you. And at the worst, you're just going to get snowed in, right? Like, yes, you get covered, but you're going to have a nice little cave to sit in. What do you do, Delnadre?
I'm gonna immediately football spiral throw Tansy straight up into the air.
Okay, nice.
And how close am I to the edge of the avalanche?
You are 200 feet away.
Tansy Viz.
Oh,
200 feet from the edge?
Yeah, from like where it's coming down. Yeah.
Right, but like to the side. Like if I were to try to run to get out of the way of the avalanche, out of the path, am I close enough for that?
150 feet.
Oh, so we're like right in the middle.
Yeah, we started very close to the side of the avalanche. If we had just gone in the other direction, it would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been better if we gone in the other direction, but you live, you learn.
You never know.
Yeah, we couldn't see it, so.
Then you'd be traveling over avalanche snow where imagine you're in the Lord of the Rings traveling along the mountain path. You wouldn't know where you could just fall down.
I'm going to use my action to light a torch.
Why don't you just light a campfire?
I feel like that's more than an action, and I don't know that I really have all the supplies for a campfire readily available.
I can just imagine like the rest of the party just looking over there, and Delnadre's just like,
I'm just gonna flash everyone a thumbs up, and then I'm gonna hunker down. Tansy is staying in the air; she's not coming back down.
All right.
She's just gonna watch the horror from above, just like, oh no!
Roll me a perception or intelligence. Tansy's gonna take note of where everyone is for the eventuality of having to assist with digging out. I don't think Tansy's gonna assist with digging out, but
do I need to make this intelligence check from like using the Tansy sheet, or am I doing this through Tansy's eyes?
Does it require an action for you to look through Tansy's eyes?
Yeah.
Probably.
Then it would be Tansy's sheet, because Tansy is just kind of following along with like that's its own familiar like
as an action.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck, Tansy. Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
For a -4, that's not bad.
Tansy has a pretty good estimate of where each of you will be. He able to figure it out. So like if you were able to like go into its mind, or it passed along its information saying, yeah, they're in this area, you're in this area, you got this much space between you. All right, so avalanche rushing over.
I would like to cue my turn.
Oh yeah, cue your turn.
Yeah, Levi looks up at said water wall, and he looks at Rosemary, and he says, "That's it."
I got what I got, but if you got something better, do it now.
And he smiles, and he touches his collarbone, and he says, "Protect." And he uses one charge of our Chewinga friend's charm, and he casts Liamon's Tiny Hut.
Liamon's Tiny Hut?
Very nice.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god! I was literally looking. I'm like, do I have a tiny hut spell? Like, do I have an extra dimensional thing?
Yeah, he casts Liamon's Tiny Hut. So a 10-foot radius, so 20 feet wide, immobile dome of force springs into existence around and above you and remains stationary for the duration. 9 creatures of medium size or smaller can fit inside the dome with you. The spell fails if its area includes a larger creature or more than 9 creatures, which it does not. Creatures and objects within the dome, when you cast the spell, can move through it freely. We will not be doing that. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. Spells and other magical effects cannot extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside. And I am commanding it to be dimly lit.
All right. Well, that solves the hassle of me having to roll against Rosemary's wall of water. You form.
You can say that the avalanche crashes through it if you want.
I don't. Well,
It says objects.
I don't want to yuck the yum here, but Tiny Hut does have a casting time.
Oh, it does.
But how did
that's
the
if I'm
Chewinga-
that's if I'm casting
the DM is totally free to Chewinga that and hand wave that away.
Let me see.
But
Let's
it
pause.
needs to be a conscious decision.
Let me pause this.
It does
Thank
have
you.
a casting time.
Let me thank you.
But
let me look at what the charms specifically say, whether it's activate to activate said ability, or whether it's you have said ability on a one charge thing. Please hold.
Bruh, don't check the rules. That's so cringe. Just decide in your heart of hearts as the DM what you do.
DM
My
has
money
to do
says
math.
it's like a scroll. I feel like scroll stuff has. You don't have to take the same casting time.
Well, a scroll does
And I
have
mean,
the
if
same
it does have
casting.
depending on the casting time, I can maybe hold it off for a second.
Well, it's 1 minute.
Oh, well, I might not be able to hold it off for a full minute, but...
Okay, so when you read a scroll, it ignores casting time and it's just taking action for the scroll?
I believe so, yeah.
That's my understanding.
That's what I'm looking at here
on
the two scrolls that are in the
casting time has already been spent, essentially, in the enchanting time.
That makes sense.
That's always been my understanding.
I accept it. That is a rational thing. Tiny Hut has popped up. Plus, I'm okay with you using a one-time ability to save your life here. That is acceptable.
I do. It was originally 3 charges, and this is my second use of the charge, so I'll only have 1 charge left.
Same difference. You're using a charge of it. So just make sure you're using that before you wait for whether or not Rosemary's wall of water would have survived.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He looks at it and he does not have super faith of this wall of water. And he sees that Bitte is in a ready position to sort of receive the brunt of this. And he says, you know what, just to be safe, I'm just going to pop this thing.
It just suddenly gets like super cool and casual about it. You know, just to be safe, I'm just going to pop this thing.
Fair enough. The avalanche rushes across, burying both Delnadre and the rest of the party. Delnadre, you have found yourself stuck in a little tiny cave, while the other party have found themselves stuck in a small little dome of magical force. Going back to where I had my thing, because now we have to look at the rules at digging yourself out. The avalanche has passed. What do you do?
So, alright, let's see.
So the avalanche, as soon as it gets, we'll say it takes, a minute? Tiny Hut lasts 8 hours, so you should have no issue with that.
Levi sits down and he starts having a snack.
Vita is going to pretty immediately start trying to tunnel up, or tunnel like sideways and up to check on Del.
It is.
So pull out like a little folding shovel.
Nice. It's 30 feet.
Can we pass in and out as long as Levi stays in here?
Yes.
You can go out.
It's like a ready-made igloo.
You can go out, but you can't come back in.
Really?
I think that's just the caster.
I think the caster needs to stay inside.
Creatures. Oh yeah, you're right. Creatures and objects within the dome. Within the dome, when you cast the spell, can move through it freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
okay.
You can...
Good question though.
What happened to the wall?
The wall of water is, because it was only... How big is they're both the exact same. At this point, the wall of water is within Tiny Hut. Unless Rosemary decides to end it. It's 10 feet high.
I think the Tiny Hut is too small for it. Levi's Tiny Hut is only a 10-foot radius, so like a 10-foot wall will not fit in there.
Oh, radius. My bad. Wait.
Yeah, so my wall of water was
radius.
outside of... A 10-foot radius means at its highest point, it is 10 foot tall.
That's right.
And it
from where
curves
you are.
down from there.
Yes, correct.
So
correct.
A 10-foot wide wall, like, Yeah.
Nah.
So yeah, my wall of water would have been outside of it.
Yeah, what I
as soon
imagined
as
is
the
like
hut goes
Rosemary's
up,
wall of water was there, like at point A, and then the tiny hut was created under it, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because I have a range of 30 feet, so I would have put it like 30 feet up the hill.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how you would conduct an experiment to find out what this would work, because I mean, ostensibly, what you ended up with was like two or 3 feet thick of water for a bunch of snow to get through, and like a square foot of water is heavy as shit. So I'm very curious, but there's no way to conduct this experiment without literal magic.
Yeah,
because you can't have a horizontal or AutoCAD. I don't know.
Yeah, the big thing is like the key point is whenever it takes the cold damage, which is the snow hitting it, it freezes, right? It wasn't factoring in, is it cold enough to freeze? It just says it freezes. So it becomes a wall of ice as soon as it touches. So the first layer is ice, but then the 2 layers behind it are still water. So it's like it would just go ice, water, water, and then ice, water, and then ice, and then no wall. With the way she zigzagged it.
So yeah, once we dig like a small pocket just outside the hut, I would like to cast Flaming Sphere into that pocket and get a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire. Which I'm assuming will probably burn a tunnel through the through the snow.
Yeah. And it would be
Turn
slow.
that downhill of us. I don't want a bunch of cold water on my shoes.
If you duck back inside of the thing, I'll get the water and I'll dry off in my own way.
It takes some time. I know. Does everyone else hear that, like the yipping and the?
Yeah, I think those are my neighbors.
That makes sense.
They're like throwing some sort of fucking party. Let me see what's going on. Sorry. I'll mute in the meantime. But yeah, I would like to use Flaming Sphere to try to dig a tunnel out. And like, it lasts a minute, and I'd like to, if I can, try to use that to try to dig to Delnadre. But I'm gonna go see what the fuck my neighbors are doing.
Second question, leaning on you for advice here. I assume the avalanche is soft snow, not really packed, so as she melts, it would cause the snow above it to collapse. So it would just kind of slowly eat into the Flaming Spear.
It would collapse. It would collapse in the sense that it would it would melt and fall onto it, but it would also like go around, and it would partially evaporate, partially explode.
So like it's going to create a giant hole from the top of the avalanche that Tansy would be able to see as they're moving slowly towards Delnadre.
Yeah, like if you've ever melted your way through styrofoam.
You melted your way through an avalanche.
So
anyone who's ever melted their way through an avalanche will tell you.
So Delnadre, as you are in your little cave, you've lit your torch. What are you doing while the rest of the party makes their way towards you?
Well, I could probably use this torch to like try and melt my way out, but what are the chances that would just collapse the whole thing on me? Better not. Let's go see what things are going on. I'm going to activate Tansy Vision and just see what I can see.
Right. So as we just mentioned, yeah, you'd be able to see the hole being formed, just like you just see some like just caving in of snow in a very nice, neat line.
They've got it. Tansy's going to flap on down and she's going to land on the snow directly above Delnadre and just wait.
Just wait. Takes a little bit of time, but y'all are able to clear your way out.
She's gonna start digging with like one foot, just kind of scratch, and then scratch. She might manage to make like it 6 inches down by the time they make it all the way across.
6 inches down.
Scratch, scratch.
Yeah.
Scratch, scratch.
Did you find out whether or
Also,
not you're...
I don't know what my neighbors are doing. They're having some sort of party downstairs, and like they've been going wild like all night. So if it gets annoying, I can mute in between stuff.
Nah, I doubt that it's gonna get that annoying. So moving on from our little bit of an avalanche shenanigans, we're continuing our travel. We've dug ourselves out. We've found our way to the top of the avalanche. We've put our snowshoes on, and we are traversing over the snow and back onto wherever it becomes back to rock. Bitte, roll me some more survival checks. And I will say we have made... And we're going to draw an X right here because that is where the avalanche happened. I'm going to circle it.
X is for Xvalanche.
Oh.
Zavalanche.
AV for that. Good. 18. No problem. Make your way a little
Put
bit more.
the apple back in land.
All right. Now, we've made our way to the top of the peak. And this is at the point where, Bitte, you have, from your experience, known that the planar energies are the strongest. Things can go wacky very quickly, or things could not go wacky. It's as much as it is up to the residents of the village. It's also just up to pure whim and the feelings of the plains, the way of the plane.
Gotcha. The way of the plane.
Do you take any extra precaution in your travels as you reach this last leg of the journey?
I think Pizza would probably after seeing Tansy out and remembering Tansy exists, each would probably kind of coordinate with Del and Tansy to like just make sure he's seeing everything he needs to see, make sure he doesn't miss any of the visual cues of the things he's looking for. So he'll be like telling Del, who's telling Tansy, like, "Hey, look for a pine needle, a pine tree with yellow needles, and just a slight aura of malice, because that is the tree we need to pull on." Like walking through like this little like forest section, thinking about that or what have you. So he's trying to coordinate with a bird's eye view based on things that he knows to look for. And yeah, I guess there's nothing for me to cast Hunter's Mark on. He might cast a Zephyr Strike so that if he needs to, he can move a little faster in just a spurt, if that's something he needs to do.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have you roll 3 more checks between now and the final destination. I'm not gonna tell you the failure rate, but I will tell you what happens after you roll it.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do or say anything to help?
This is true.
Tansy will assist as able.
Okay. Tansy
with the help action.
Tansy with the help action. It'll really help you find those cues. I'm gonna bump up your success, or I guess bump down your success threshold.
So, all right. Anything else? Anyone got before
Fuck, sorry.
these 3 rolls?
I forgot I was on mute because my neighbors are being loud. Guidance. I give you guidance. You get a B4.
Guidance.
I would love to say that Levi helps, but like tracking in the snow is not Levi's specialty, so I'm gonna go with nah.
Levi holds on to the back of Dell's coat real good.
Yeah, Levi doesn't want to bring any more hallucinations into the mix.
Yeah, exactly. Levi actually whispers in Dell's ear, "As we continue, we must be wary of the Kraken."
Okay.
All right.
That's pretty
So,
ominous.
25, 13, 29.
Okay. The going starts off great. You're making your way. You're seeing the points of interest that you need to navigate in particular ways to be able to get through the quote unquote planar storm that protects your final destination. You falter slightly. Something moves in the misty drifts of snow. The storm that had caused the avalanche is still upon you. Visibility is low, but visibility isn't as much as what you were hoping for in this area. But it does prevent you from seeing something else. Perception checks all around. Bitte, your planar hairs are on alert. You aren't quite sure what is coming, but you are sure that the planar energies are out of balance.
Am I being helped on this perception by Tansy, who is helping me to perceive actively? As discussed.
It depends on whether or not. Yes, Delnadre.
I was already rolling for Tansy when that was asked, but you can just ignore that, sure.
So yes, so 23, good, 22, good, 4. Okay. Levi?
What am I rolling?
A perception check.
Perception.
Jeez. I must have missed that one when it was requested. Perception check. 7. Still hallucinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking Levi, just like, wait, what was that sound? Was that the Kraken? Was that over there?
Levi just is genuinely looking in just the opposite direction.
So, okay, wait. Okay, so Delnadre points to one direction, Levi points to another. Let's roll D2. Levi or Delnadre, you look over and you're like, what's that over there? And what do you see? You see tentacles. Small tentacles. Not the size of a kraken, but goddamn, if he didn't say kraken, it would have made your mind just jump to it.
Oh shit! There is a kraken,
and something is swimming through the recent snow that has been dropped by the storm that is currently engulfed the party. It is swimming through the snow. You caught a glimpse of it for a moment. Fins, tentacles. Bitte, Rosemary, when Delnadre throws it out there, you look and you can see where it has surfaced and
I throws it out there, you mean this knife that I immediately throw at it.
Throw a knife, yeah. Burn your reaction there.
You're gonna go? Okay, I guess the dice were still trying to settle. Probably don't have sneak attack on this, so maybe just a 6 damage.
It misses.
Ha! My knife.
It misses mostly because it is largely under the snow. AC is rather buffed at the moment. But with your reaction, Rosemary, Bitte, you're able to catch a little glimpse of it. Bitte, you've known this creature before. It's slipped by your compatriots that you're visiting before. A creature that commonly passes through portals because it's just so ugly. Yeah, that's a good point. Sneaky, clever, and giving itself its own
Chomsky.
Yeah. You don't really have a name for it, but it's a fish that carries its own water. Would be a good way to explain it. Its tentacles.
That seems like something that would be like this is like my tribal name, the fish that carries water.
Yeah. So it's a fish that has been known to carry its own water with it. It's from the elemental plane of water. It can go anywhere, and it is a very, very commonly a creature that escapes planar portals because of its ability to just hop out of the ocean and float around in a small little bubble.
Gotcha. And is this a creature that he would be like that is cool, or is it a dangerous creature?
It is dangerous. It is a predator. It is large, about it's rather big, probably about the size of Delnadre. Not gigantic, but a large fat. But the hard part about it is its ability to move through the snow, which makes it more difficult for the party to attack it. You are all on alert. Delnadre. Sorry. Go back to my perception where we have perceptions over here. Bitte, you are first. Then Rosemary. Then Levi. And then Delnadre. And then the creature. Well, the creature.
Was this based on our perception?
Yes.
Interesting.
Not based on your initiative. A little fun little.
Oh, I'm not complaining.
Not going to be putting anything on the map. You are just going to be dealing with this.
Pathfinder rules in my D&D 5e.
Well, I mean, it is a Pathfinder creature that I've stolen, so it fits.
Paizo's lawyers are already on the phone.
All right, Bitte. It moves around in the snow. It has to surface to attack, but it does have tentacles, which commonly pull its prey under the snow, where it then bites them and eats them.
Okay. Well. I know. What did I do? I just clicked the wrong thing.
We'll say one thing.
I don't want character mancer.
You've never correctly or successfully hunted a creature. You've just encountered them, scared them off, what have you. Never killed one before. This could be rather interesting.
Okay. Okay. Beta has advantage. So, Beta is going to attempt to make 2 sharpshooter attacks at advantage.
Good.
And let me go ahead and click. I can keep this guy open. All right. So darts. They are still on strength.
Well done.
20 and 17.
17. The 20 hits. You're able to you throw a dart, looking at where it was traveled and looking at the snow, observing it and seeing where it becomes kind of shifted and disturbed. Get a good guess and chunk a dart. It hits true. You know, because the dart begins to move through the snow and as the creature rises above the snow to face its attacker. That's when you throw off your second dart, piercing it right in its big bulbous eye. I will pull this little creature here onto the map.
And the second attack there, the extra damage is going to be 16, not 23.
16, not 23.
Oh my god!
So you deal
the last 7.
Good fuck. Tell me what's your total damage here?
Or actually, hang on. No, that's decreased by more. So yeah, it's really just a 10 on the second one. So the first attack is
24,
8,
26,
8 for max damage on the dart, 10 for sharpshooter, and then planar warrior and zephyr strike. So 24 or 26 as you said, and then 18.
26, 18. All right, so
So
40,
44 damage.
44 damage. All right, it's wounded. It's angry. It is. It's just straight up pissed. You got 2 darts, one in its side, one in its eye. Its tentacles rise up. It takes a deep breath as it pops up, and it begins to shoot pressurized water gouts.
It's a fish! What is the fish doing in the... Ah!
So it is going to blast some pretty strong little gouts of water. We're going to attack first Bitte, because you attacked it. But it's not going to only attack you, it's also going to attack Rosemary, who I assume is standing pretty close to you.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
let's see. Does a 14 hit you, Bitte? I would assume no. Yep. And then does a 14 hit you, Rosemary?
14?
Yes.
It does hit me.
Okay. So this pressurized water blast just goes smacking against you. It is going to deal 2d8. So 10 damage. It's the water is freezing cold. It soaks into your furs, your clothing. Any cold protective gear you have is almost effectively useless as you begin to shiver. You need a Constitution saving throw from you.
All right, Constitution saving throw.
You are
16?
good. You're able to hold off the winter's chill for now. But the longer you stay in this soaked state, the worse it's going to get for you. It's still there. It's now risen above the snow. Rosemary, your turn. It's within range. Everyone can assume you're within range of attacking it.
I'm going to cast a new spell for me, and I'm going to cast Conjure Animals.
Oh no.
So I can conjure 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower, which means I can conjure 8 wolves.
All right. Conjuring 8 wolves.
Yeah, I'm going to send the at least the URL for the stat block of wolves. And they have pack tactics, which means they have advantage on attack rolls if at least one wolf's allies is within 5 feet of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 8 of them.
Good.
So,
question: when you summon animals, do they get to act on that turn, or is they act on your next turn?
Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, which has its own turn.
All right.
So I will roll initiative for it. Do they get anything? So they get a +2 to initiative. So if I roll a d20, 13, 14, 15, they have a 15 for initiative.
Okay. That's gonna come up next because next up was Levi was at 7, so they attack.
And they obey. Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, which has its own turn. They obey any verbal commands that you issue to them. No action required by you. So I'm just gonna say, attack the squid. The squid.
All right. Roll 8 attacks. 8 + 4. +4 to hit is your bite as they rush forward to.
At advantage.
Yes, at advantage.
So all right. So oh god, how the fuck? So I'm just gonna do like 2 at a time. So
8d20 + 4, and
2,
then just add 4 to each one.
4, 5,
Oh,
6,
fucking hell.
7, 8. All right. So
one crit.
First one is one crit. So first one is a 16.
Miss.
16 misses? Damn, okay. 22, there's a crit. Another 22.
That hits.
23
hits.
16 misses, 15 misses, and the last one misses. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 3 regular hits and 1 crit. So that is 2d4 + 2. So you double the dice on a crit. So that's 1, 2, 4.
8d4?
5 times 2, because that's Because the 3 that hit normally, and then the one that crit is a 2, so
Right,
that's
so
10d4 plus
10.
Yeah.
All right, roll 10d4 plus 10.
Plus 8, right?
Oh yeah, plus
Oh
8
yeah, sorry, because it's
the
just
second
4.
one.
It's not 10.
All
Good
right, so
catch.
15 plus 9 plus 8 is 15 plus 9 is 24, plus 8 is 32.
It is enough to take it down. It only had about
Oh my god!
it had just over 20 health left. Yeah. So you send a pack of wolves at it, and they just rip it apart. Just tear it apart. As you tear at it, its flesh just dissolves into planar gook. Well, not really dissolves.
I'm imagining it just
planar
kind of
gook.
falls into water.
Dissolves into the flesh becomes like muddied, or like its own ability to carry water with it goes out of control as it dies. It begins to infuse its own body with a bit more, 2 extra water, and as it dies, the water in its flesh reaches critical mass, and it's going to explode. 5d6 points of damage to each of the wolves nearby. And let's see.
5d6 of damage?
Yeah, 5d6 to each wolf, so...
I'm pretty sure they're all dead. They only have 11 hit points.
15 points. So your pack of wolves explodes, as well as the fish creature. Nobody else was close enough to take any damage. So
Rosemary is like going down, like, who are good doggies? Who are good? Oh, they're all dead.
That was a horrific series of sights to watch.
That was awful. Also, I'm going to change into some dry clothes. I imagine that we have, like, more than one set of clothes, right?
Do you?
I mean, do I wear the exact same thing every single day?
No. But the better question is do you have multiple sets of cold weather gear?
That's a question. Do we have extras? Did we think about that?
Would that have been something that you would have grabbed from Sky Tower Shelter when they were giving away all these extra gear?
Yeah, when y'all were grabbing extra gear, do you think that would be something that you'd grab? Like an extra set of cold weather gear?
No.
If Beaker found out you didn't have a second set of clothes, he probably would have, but I don't know when that would have come up in polite conversation.
That's valid.
It's just like, I mean, it's, your one jacket. Jackets are jackets. Like, sure, you change your underwear, or you change your shirt, but pants
Rosemary's
and
at least
jackets
going to
last
change
forever.
her like normal clothes, like her underclothes. And
question: do they raise sheep in Rosemary's hometown?
I don't think so. I mean, do they have sheep there? Yes, but do they raise them?
I mean, if they're not raising them, why do they have them?
Because they're druids.
Yeah, sheep are mostly domesticated, because if there's not someone tending to them, they grow too much wool and they die.
I mean, sheep is a very good way to...
25% of the population is just sheep.
Yeah, no. Well, what I was going to say is one of the reasons
sheep live here.
Why wool is such a pervasive, common fabric for cold weather gear is because even soaking wet, wool retains 80% of its heat.
Let's see. Does it describe cold weather gear here in the book? Is it wool?
But I use
druid consists of a heavy fur coat or cloak over layers of wool clothing, as well as a fur-lined hat or hood, goggles, and fur-lined leather boots and gloves.
That's good.
I'm shocked
as long as cold weather clothing remains dry, its wearer automatically succeeds on saving throws against the effects of extreme cold.
Question. If I can use Druidcraft to instantly light or snuff out a candle or torch or small campfire, could I use Druidcraft to slowly but surely dry out my outer layer.
Yeah.
Just like steam it out.
I'd say yeah. Whether that or whether you have a torch or something, it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't be. We'll accept it that you have the time and the while it is getting dark, whether if it's dark already, right? So whether you get there now or whether you get there at midnight, it's not going to make much of a difference. So yeah, you have some time to wait and to warm yourself up.
Vita would also offer to let her have his warm clothes.
Yeah, aren't you resistant to the cold?
Because Beta is naturally resistant to the things, but it's like but I mean it's like it's not much different than being like, yeah, you can be out on a chilly day without a jacket.
Right.
You're not gonna be hurt by it, but it's uncomfortable. And that's kind of what he's.
Yeah, I'll do that and like be using Druidcraft to dry out my clothes as quick as possible and then give it back to him as soon as I can.
Yeah. So Beats is like he's actually, yeah, no, I guess the hood is part of it. So you've got a partial Yeti skull.
Oh.
Skull hood.
I'm just like enjoying it. I'm like, I'm the Yeti mated.
This is hilarious. Don't say that.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just think they will misread the intention of the statement.
No worries. I'll only say it in this company.
Fantastic. I mean, they don't speak the language. It doesn't really matter. It's just like weird for me. I don't know. I don't know why.
What language do they speak?
But yeah, so he's now wearing like just like he's wearing like pants and then like one of the like sashy things that comes like halfway up your abs, that sort of thing. Very Iron Bull
girdle.
Dragon Age. Yeah, a girdle.
Bite removes his outer weather gear to reveal his corset.
Oh, not that kind of girdle. But yeah, so he's like bare shouldered, nips, rock hard. But actually oddly hard to find around all of the other like bony knobs on his skin because Goliath's. Yeah, and he's going to he's just gonna carry on the rest of the way. I forgot why I started talking.
We're gonna take a brief break here. Just gonna nice time to let our players deal with their in real life any issues they might have, and we are gonna resume in about 10 minutes. So.
Okay, I need way more than 10 minutes for that.
I have way too many issues for 10 minutes.
I was gonna say, let me just go resolve my childhood trauma in the next 10 minutes. Hold on.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So can I call my therapist? Like, what's up?
Just deal with your regular physical needs at this moment and deal with your existential crises outside of the session.
Oh, okay. We're talking potty breaks. Got it.
But who am I supposed to find to hold me in those 10 minutes, Corey?
Damn it, I'm on my way.
All right.
Find me somebody to love.
Just gonna go mute real quick. Put us back to that stream starting soon.
Just to shut them.
Rough draft. Everybody's a Mimic theme song. Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. Forces they do not know they are heard. By forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You already forgot. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. Forces they do not know they are heard. By forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. Forces they do not know they are heard. The forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. Onward through the blizzard they do ride. With bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the rotten folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. forces they do not know they are heard. The forces they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rhyme of the Frost Maiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes,
We're
it's
live.
cold.
Resuming
Hello.
from our potty break. That's
Hello.
Since Delnadre had to go all
Mr.
PG-13
Obama.
on it.
I'm sorry.
So we have survived the attack of the weird fish creature. Bitte's roll from before led us to safety. You emerge through the storm into a very quiet and peaceful mountaintop. Almost like you hit a wall and then all of a sudden the storm is not there. Not that there isn't clouds above you, not that there isn't overcast and general coldness, but the roaring winds, the pelting snow has subsided as you reach a peaceful village of, where did I put it? Yeti. If you didn't know this is where we were going, well, you haven't been paying very much attention to the Yeti-mated part. Thank you very much, Dice Grim Orium, for providing this map to me. You can find them on Patreon. It is a village of Yetis. They have used pelts of rather large creatures to stake out little areas that protect the Yetis from...
Baby Yetis.
Well, not that they really needed that much protecting from the snow, but generally have protected their things, gear, and what have you. Really not gear. From just being damaged by the cold weather and the ice. You approach from the south. As you arrive right down to the left, to the south, you walk through a small passageway. Some high cliffs surround this village, at least from the southern approach. And there is a guard. Oh goodness, your characters are so small. There is a Yeti guard that is standing watch. Not really so much a guard, but just an attendant. He wanders up to the group, recognizing Bitte, and he and grabs you in a warm embrace, Bitte.
I'm so small.
That's good to see you too.
As he gestures to the party.
Hello.
That is Rosemary. Yeah, and these are some other more recent friends. These are... Well, I suppose it doesn't matter what the name is. But this is Levi and this is Dale. So they're with us. Levi is actually in need of some healing. And as he's talking, Beta's like running his hand like across his chest. He's doing like all kinds of arm movements and body movements as he's talking. talking and even like dipping his shoulders like halfway down his height, just all kinds of stuff.
Are the
So,
Yetis mimicking similar patterns, or are they only communicating through their grunts?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both.
Okay. So some
So
gestures.
all you need to do is grunts.
Okay.
Because it's an audio medium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm imagining it's an audio visual language, kinetic and other parts that
Yeah, it's like how cats are mostly just body language.
Yeah. Cats only meow to humans because we're dumb. But most of their language to other cats is nonverbal.
Perfect. So Yeti is and is gesturing you to follow. Rather, this Yeti. I guess also though, Bitte, do you introduce the party to this Yeti?
Yeah, I just did.
Saying these are my friends?
Yeah.
All right. The Yeti takes that and gestures and begins to walk.
Bitte follows him.
As you move along, following the Yeti, as Bitte is following Rosemary, Levi, Delnadre, give me a little bit of what your characters are thinking as you see what looks like very civilized Yetis. They have
Rosemary is like vibrating because she knows at least some of Bitte's history with the Yetis and is just very excited to meet his other family. She's just excited to see this side of Bitte's life. But yeah.
I think Levi's a little tense. Not like on edge tense, but just like I think it's a little bit difficult for him to believe, considering the one Yeti he's ever interacted with tackled him out of the snow when they were on a sled and then almost murdered him in cold blood. For apparently no reason at all. So I think Levi's just sort of tentatively following and like is hoping that they're able to help him and all of that, but he's like definitely unsure, so he's just sort of sticking to the back of the party and being as, I wouldn't say invisible, but like as nonchalant as possible.
Okay, nice. Delnadre?
I am very interested in the Yeti's like civilization and culture, and specifically, does it look like they have any goods that I might be interested in trading for?
Their concept of goods, produce,
Do
market
they have
intel.
like any like really special Yeti art pieces that they're like, oh yeah, this is Yeti junk, you can take this, but then I could maybe go sell it in Bryn Shander for like 500 gold?
Good point. Are the Yetis artistically inclined? Do they?
I would say so that they have a lot of bits and bobs because they take a lot of bits and bobs from everywhere they go.
Right.
So different materials and stuff that they use to try and similar to Beta's bracelet that has all little bits of jewel and beads and this and that on it. So there's probably similar jewelry scattered about. I would say that they probably have a lot of ice sculptures because at the temperatures they're just kind of stable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably like one of their most common like art mediums is just like, yeah, no, I got this, like this is my little ice statue.
Love it. Ice is their typical medium when it comes to making artistical goods. So, to follow back up on your question, Delnadre, do they have things you could trade for? Very possible. They have things from all of the places they have visited. They pick up.
Do I see a Yeti like sitting cross-legged by the path with like a blanket laid out and lots of little trinkets on it, and he's like waving his hands like whoa, whoa, and gesturing towards his goods?
I correct me if I'm wrong, Bitte, but I would say they're more of a Romani gypsy kind of people where everything is everybody's and they share everything. So no.
Also, heads up, just like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that they don't really have like a commerce-based society.
Mm-hmm. Delnadre shunks his head. Ah, oh, damn.
Well, I'm useless here.
I mean, they'd be happy to trade
right.
things.
Hey,
Like they'd certainly be
Corey.
interested.
Yes.
Just a heads up. Romani is the proper term. The other term you used is commonly seen as a slur. Just heads up.
I was gonna say the G word is in modern times seen as a slur.
Makes sense because I was watching the episode of House where he was definitely using that as a slur.
Yeah, it's a lot of people don't know that, so they just use it like commonly. But it's
I hope
Romani people do not like that word.
I hope our streamers our viewers have learned something today. Romani is what you should call them.
Yes.
Anyways, continuing
on. Yeah, all is well. Lots of people don't know that.
All good.
Continuing on, they are not capitalist.
No. So Delnadre, knowing that there isn't people peddling their wares on the side of the street, but they do have everybody's hut is generally what they keep in their hut is things they've found in their travels. So every hut is going to feature different things. You could have somebody who has a hut full of gold, where it's just like gold beetles, gold sculptures, gold weaponry. You could have another hut where it's just weird looking rocks. Every Yeti has their own personal interest
hoard.
When it hoard be good better way to put it, that they've collected from their travels.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna not assume that they're like, oh yeah, this is my home, this is my stuff, would you like any of it? So I'm gonna pass on that. But I am gonna stop off at one of the Yetis near their little ice sculpture and ask him about it, because that seems cool. Like, what's the significance of this thing?
The Yeti the Yeti looks at you. Oh,
hey, hold on. Oh, sorry. And I'm gonna activate my my mind link and
oh my god,
and ask him telepathically. So what's like the significance of this sculpture? What does this represent?
I forgot you had the mind link. I was like, oh my god, you're just like saying noises.
So the Yeti still, well, they don't really have a phonetic alphabet. They don't really speak. With your mind link, you're able to pick up the emotions that they're putting behind their words, their grunts rather, and you get the gist of what you get from that Yeti is he's recreating the image of a rather fair being, perhaps maybe an elf or some other kind of very very elegant looking creature. Not really female, not really male, wrapped in this cloak of leaves.
All right, I'm going to pass him back the emotions of understanding, gratitude, and congratulations.
Nice.
The emotion. Well done.
I mean, those are emotions.
I know. It's like...
and yeah.
Yeah. So yes, the Yeti acknowledges you and then continues back in its work. And we'll say for the sake of continuity that this Yeti over here to the right that is now become the Yeti that I am going to mark with a red. He is the ice sculpting artistic Yeti. So the party continues to move. The Yeti is obviously leading you in a direction as you get to the crossroads. And he moves the party further and further along. Going over here. Let me go. Ah, damn, I lost it. Okay, I hope it's going to be good. All right, moving up. Any more observations from the party as you move through the Yeti village? Everybody is staring at you. All the Yetis, all the little tiny Yeti tykes, they all watch as the guardsman Yeti, we'll call him, guides your players through the village.
I imagine Rosemary would have, before we got to the village, asked Bitte like what a proper Yeti like greeting would be. Like, because like she doesn't know if like waving to them might be like offensive in their culture or like something like that. So like she would ask him like what a proper Yeti greeting is.
And you go, oh, it's this. And he licks his hand from palm to fingertip and just like lightly, gently but firmly just like whacks it onto the center of her forehead.
So licks his palm and smacks it on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Rosemary
On
is going to do
your
that
forehead.
towards every group that she can see.
No. On your forehead.
No,
Oh, yeah,
no.
yeah,
On the other person's forehead.
Oh, the other
Right, yeah.
person's forehead. Okay.
Okay.
So like is there like an equivalent to like waving or like
I'm just gonna wave.
like from a distance?
I wouldn't have
It's
thought to ask. I'll just wave.
it's the same thing. You just make the motion of going toward them, of licking the hand and going toward their face.
All right, Rosemary's gonna do that. She's gonna like lick her hand 5 million times to the point where like her tongue is kind of starting to hurt.
Your
Like
hand
she's
is
gotten rid of like
your hand has
most
icicles
of the saliva.
from all the icicles
Yeah.
from the saliva you have on
Well,
your
I
hand.
imagine she has like gloves on, so like she's like licking her glove, which is kind of gross. Like, and like
Imagine-
it's starting to dry out her tongue, and like it's disgusting, but like she's gonna do it because it's like Bitte's second family, and she is going to make a good first impression this time because she made a bad first impression last time, and she is not gonna fuck it up again.
I'm imagining like, imagine if this is a joke and it means like I'm dumb or something. Like that'd be fantastic.
Rosemary
Anyways,
trusts Bitte too much to even consider that it might be a joke.
fair, but I think Levi would like, take a couple steps closer to Rosemary and just sort of whisper like under his breath, like, so what's to stop all of these Yetis from deciding to destroy all of 10 towns?
I mean, what's stopping anyone from
Are-
doing that?
What's stopping
Is
you?
Beta within earshot of that?
Yes, you are all. I actually, that's a better question.
I
for
mean,
Levi.
if he's whispering it directly to Rosemary, I don't think it would be like
Right.
if Bitte's with the guy.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a good
definitely
point.
That's what I-
very hushed, like barely just loud enough for Rosemary to hear it.
Levi grabs
Barely.
Rosemary's head and just whispers, like, lips to ear.
Well, I mean,
No.
even when you're like in a group, like if you can like walk next to a specific person and like whisper just to them. So
Yeah.
like I imagine that's kind of what he's doing. But like Rosemary's just gonna lean back and like, what's stopping you?
And he just nods and shrugs and keeps walking.
Fair enough.
The Yeti continues to.
I'm just waving at the kids. Hi, children.
Yeah, good interaction here. A group of tykes runs up to you, Delnadre. They begin to pull at your clothes, pull at your backpack. their hands grabby as their curiosity has basically overcome them, and they just want to interact with the outsiders.
Haha, yeah, that's maybe there's a lot of dangerous things in there, but look, a bird! It's wearing a vest! And I jingle Tansy and then plop her on the ground.
The Yeti tykes are overcome with curiosity. They rush forward with their hands greedily, like fingers outreached as they run at Tansy. I assume Tansy's
BJ,
not gonna.
They understand pets here, right? They're not just gonna eat her, right?
Roll me perception, Delnadre.
Okay.
You see no pets in the Yeti village. There are only Yetis here.
I changed my mind, Tansy, fly!
Tansy flies up, but the tykes like rush up the nearby tree and they try fruitlessly. They fail fruitlessly as they rush up to the top and jump out trying to catch Tansy.
Do any of them look like they're gonna get like close?
One gets within tail feather range, but it finds no purchase with his.
Well, I'm not going to take that chance, and I'm going to use an action to pop Tansy into her little temporary pocket dimension.
They are the tyke that was like nearby just like falls and hits the ground pretty roughly as its whole like it just got thrown off by the bird just disappearing in front of it, and it just flies and it's like, what the hell? And it forgets to like catch itself on the ground and just slams into the ground. This was at least like a 15-20 foot tall tree that it just leapt off of, which wouldn't have been any issue had it been really prepared to just land.
You're all right. No one panic. Kids are like invulnerable. As long as you don't act like you're scared or surprised, he won't know.
Yeah, the tykes rush off, but the one tyke that got hit is like dazed on the ground.
Ooh, you're gonna be okay. You're fine. I'm gonna walk over and pick up Tansy's vest. Yeah, you're okay. You're fine.
The guardsman Yeti looks at the Yeti tyke and just goes and gestures to another Yeti who comes along to care for it as they continue to make their way. God, get out of the way, Yeti tyke. Trying to wake your way up to a group of Yetis with many tykes that are oddly pale. Not as hairy. Some are hairy, but not all of them are as hairy as the rest of the tykes. They look like they look off. The Yeti that has been guiding your group just looks back at Bitte.
And he kind of slaps that one on the shoulder and grunts back.
The Yeti walks away. Back to his post. Or back to his hut.
Yeah. And now that we're in sight, and he's gonna say goodbye to the guard.
So what stands?
Vita will run straight up and pick up these sorry, wrong thing. Well, as they're, that interaction happens, like 10-15 feet off.
Mm-hmm.
And after it does, Vita will like ramp up speed, pick up these two, and then like tackle this one while holding the two pale ones.
So you pick up the two tykes and you tackle the big Yeti?
Yeah.
The big Yeti wraps you up in a loving embrace, and you
no.
all four of you roll in the snow for a moment as the other Yeti walks up to the group and introduces itself along with three little Yeti tykes that are kind of like hiding behind its legs. It walks up and it's very awkward as it like walks up to you and grabs you. Its hands, its claw, like its hands are massive. I mean, this is still a Yeti. It's huge. Grabs your like hands, your forearms, and like shakes vigorously, slowly. Bitte, have you explained handshakes to them?
I feel like it's definitely something
That has come up,
something they've gone over.
right?
But I feel like you're dead on. They haven't quite decided what speed it's supposed to be because they've never seen it happen.
Right.
Properly.
So that they walk up to
or at least in a minute.
They rock up to Rosemary, grabbing your arm, forearm, maybe even like above the elbow, and just shake your whole, like just shake you. And it starts really fast, and then they kind of realize that they're like almost like about to pull your arm out of your socket and just slow it down to like a snail's pace. Very slow, up and down, and it doesn't stop. The Yeti
Rosemary,
continues to shake your arm.
Having learned from the issue with or not issue, having learned from the orc splitter thing, she's going to go with it, and she's going to try to shake back.
So, are you gonna grab the Yeti's arm or hand?
Like, I imagine, like, kind of like, if they're grabbing me by, like, the elbow, I, like, grab them back. I imagine my arm is not as long as theirs, so, like, I'm, like, probably somewhere around the wrist or, like, mid-forearm.
Okay, good.
And I do my best to shake back.
Okay. The Yeti shakes your hand, and then kind of just, like, pushes you out of the way. Now that you have returned the shaking, it realizes, okay, formalities aside, I have greeted you. I must now greet the small human. The Yeti now lumbers over to Delnadre, grabs, it reaches towards you. It grabs your, or at least attempts to grab your arm. Del, do you do anything after seeing what happened to Rosemary?
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly try and dodge that and mind link, send it, a sign of greeting over and over and over again without. Well, like doing the just like dodging my hands to the side, like every time she tries to go for him, just like nope, yep, hello, and then I'll just put it behind my back.
Okay, it realizing between the mind link and between your dodging of its hands, it's like, okay, greeting must be successful. Moving on now. Levi, it rushes over to you because you're in the back of the group. It rushes forward. It kind of barreling past Rosemary and Delnadre, and it tries to grasp your arm. What do you do?
The moment that it starts moving towards me, Levi is lifting up his shirt to reveal these blood-soaked bandages that he has on.
Okay. I wasn't prepared for this. The Yeti stops.
Not because he's asking for help, but because it's like, please don't shake me. I'm already hurt enough.
It looks at you and it's taken. You stopped in its tracks. The Yeti tilts its head a little bit as it like looks. It gestures and it looks at Bitte, who's still rolling in the snow with two tykes and the other Yeti, as it gestures to Levi. Which I should say, wait, before you answer Bitte, Delnadre, because you still have is your mind link two ways? It's a mind radio?
Yes.
Yeah.
It can be.
You ask like, It asks to Bitte and to Yeti. It's just kind of shouting it out, and you catch up on it. I assume it works that way, or does it have to actively put it towards you?
I think they would have to consciously be trying to telepathically respond.
Okay, so then never mind. So it continue on before what I said. It grunts towards Bitte and the other Yeti.
Yeah, and Beta is going to Beta is he's probably like got one of the tykes like on a full arm extension up in the air. And he'll toss the tyke in the air, and it like lands on the other one's like stomach as they're laying on the ground safely in a very like kind of funny little thing. And he'll do like a motion under his nose, and then run some fingers down his side in the area where Levi has his injury, and he'll do a series of grunts and like a weird little like foot motion, and indicating yes, that is the one. Here's where he's injured. There's also a motion in there that conveys that he was impatient and already did most of the procedure.
Yeah, we planned on bringing this to y'all, but decided to deal with it on our own in a cave with little medical procedure outside of Rosemary's knowledge.
It was a panic moment in what could have been said, because listen, if we hadn't, the next day before we left, you could have been like, damn, that's crazy, Levi, you feel a weird pain in your chest.
I mean,
he was out of time.
You're right. I could have just launched a slod on the sky tower.
You could have been a very mean GM, but you are not. But we underestimated your benevolence, and therefore did the surgery way too early.
It's fine.
So it's just
not even way too early, just early.
It's one of those moments where it's like, I could be evil, but I could also just trick you into being evil yourself.
Yeah, Levi smiles awkwardly at the Yeti in front of him, and he says, "Yes, it does stink." Ouch.
The Yeti looking at Levi after you showed your scars just and another Yeti begins to lumber towards the group very slowly. This Yeti is elderly, old, walking with a limp, not really using a cane, but if they had a cane, it probably would have helped. As they walk towards the group, the original Yeti begins just to scream into the outside as if he's requesting help. As this second
Levi,
Yeti, I guess technically third, just begins to bear hug Levi. Levi, do you resist?
Okay, so first off, Levi makes a mental note that if they do help him with this wound and this pain, he's going to introduce the idea of a cane to them if they are not currently aware of that idea. Second, he, I think, is nervous for sure because he has a big ouchie that is in bandages and doesn't feel great. So he's like, I think he like crosses his arms in front of his body and like flexes them so that when he is bear hugged, there is like a little, like an inch or two gap between any sort of crushing to his ribs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Perfect situation, as the Yeti does, in fact, bear hug you and drag you off to the hut. Oops, I grabbed too many people.
Oh, hey, am I gonna live? Is this it? Hello?
Just trust them.
and Levi disappears within the hut. This is the largest hut of the village by far. It is the only hut that actually involves wooden walls, what you could consider a hut, whereas everything else is just really a tent, where it's just leathers strapped across some wood that they've propped up.
Rosemary is very nervous until Bitte gives the okay, and then she's like, she gives a thumbs up to Levi of like, I trust Bitte, and Bitte says it's okay.
When the door to the hut closes, Levi just like he looks up at the Yeti and he again smiles awkwardly and he says, "I hope your intentions with me are pure."
The Yeti looks at you and just roars. And it points.
I feel the same.
It points a claw at you. The claw begins to glow, this like eerily like cold blue purplish glow, and it just pokes you right into your stitches, and it hurts. Like, does Levi scream? Are you the kind of person who scream at at instant pain?
No, Levi grits his teeth and just like growls.
Just growls. Yeah. Well, this claw, which I imagine, I don't know, a Yeti claw is what, like 3 inches or so, 4 inches, maybe bigger.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, probably like a bear claw.
Straight into your you showed your wound. He pierces right in between your stitches, just right into your stomach.
Levi's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, we'll touch on that later some more. Going back to the rest of
Can we hear that from our position?
Oh, 100%. It's not that great of a hut. There's no soundproofing. You hear everything. The Yeti has taken Levi, and there is then shouts of pain.
I look towards Bitte with kind of panicked eyes.
I probably should
making my way over there.
A rather aggressive form of medicine.
Delnadre is like looking through the window, eating like some popcorn,
like peeking through the holes.
But it's excellent.
Oh no! Are they killing him?
He's gonna be okay, right? Though, yeah, he's gonna be okay. They're not gonna like mercy kill him.
Why would they kill him?
I mean, yeah,
It's a very easy thing. I mean, they're just handling aftercare now.
Levi, are you okay?
I wanted to be sure that it wasn't like, I don't know, there are some packs that like they'd rather kill the weak one than keep them on, but like I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure.
The only killing that happens here is when there is a renegade.
When they're what?
Is a renegade.
Renegade.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, the weak doesn't mean physically weak.
It means like what is it, like mental, not mentally, it's like
mentally would be a good a pretty good estimation of
their
it.
Will.
Yeah.
Like willpower weak.
Yes. If you don't have the willpower to live, I would bet the Yetis don't really have time for you.
Delnadre, did you say something to Levi?
Yeah, are you okay?
Levi turns around and there's like, his eyes are just wild for a second. He says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I have 3 inches of ice cold claw in my chest, but yeah, I'm great."
That sounds terrible.
The Yeti that has its claws in
like
your
really, that's really, really, really bad sarcasm.
In your stitches, just like slices across your stitches, and your stomach kind of like opens up a little bit. Like it just like cuts all of these stitches and begins to like slowly pull them out with its other hand while keeping its ice cold claw deep within your stomach. This is extremely painful. I mean, I want to.
Like, at this point, Levi is just like his hands are balled into fists, and his teeth are just gritted to the extreme, and he's just like, he has his eyes screwed shut, and he's like, "What the fuck did I sign up for?"
The Yeti looks at you and just and like. A rather a bit elderly, not really full grown, but a bit older than, just a regular Yeti Tykes, runs in and begins to like hold you down. Because I'm sure you're kind of like fidgeting a little bit as much as you trying to not to. It just grabs your shoulders. Yeti Tykes are strong. They're not weak, and just forces you onto the ground. And so now we have a Yeti Tyke holding you down, another Yeti ice cold claw. It's an elderly Yeti. It's just like cutting you open, like
at this point I think Levi does scream, but it's not like a ow help me. It's more like a fuck you that hurts scream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It does nothing to stop them from digging into your insides.
Yeah, that's fair, but it's just like a primal, like just guttural scream, like that he just puts out into the ether. Yeah,
exactly. Delnadre, any last reactions before we switch back over to Rosemary and Bitte?
I mean, I'm gonna assume at this point that they're probably trying to help him because this is where we were supposed to bring him anyway. But I'm gonna go in the hut if they'll let me, like if no one's blocking the door or anything.
Nope, nobody's blocking the door. You're welcome to move along.
All right. I'm gonna try something. Levi, I don't know if this will work. I don't know if this will make things worse or not. But I'm gonna try and use my mind link to like, I don't know, be a way for him to like channel some of the pain away.
So you're gonna try to take on some of his pain?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, I like that idea. It's not going to lessen your physical pain, Levi, but it's going to kind of provide you a safe space to escape from it. You get that? Like, you're still going to be in pain, but it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I'm in this area, this little bubble. I'm in my happy place. Delnadre has provided you a happy place, okay? Delnadre, you are taking on his pain to provide this happy place. I'm gonna need a Constitution saving throw here.
Ow.
Tansy's gone, so there's no help. That is, it's gonna be difficult for you. This is not a physical pain. This is a mental pain. 1d8 damage. Please roll it. Yeah. That's a pretty good.
Is this psychic damage?
Yeah. Well,
I have resistance to psychic damage, but no, I'm gonna take the whole thing.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, yes, it is, but this is not something you would get resistance from because you willingly accepted it. Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
You take the 5 damage, but you're providing this little huddle of a mental space.
Sorry, Levi, I can do this all day.
For Levi to resist. You don't know how long this is going to go, so there may be some more checks, but we'll come back to you guys. Bitte, Rosemary. The other Yeti kind of just like starts to and gesturing to Rosemary, then gesturing to the Tykes, gesturing like to the Tykes to come up and closer, kind of like pulling like hands outstretched and pulling closer as if they're telling the Tykes to come up, and all 3, not the 2 that you are not, that you have presently.
I mean, Pizza goes ahead and he'll set them down. They can run up and
yeah. So they all run up, like gesturing Rosemary, and then to the Tykes, and then to Rosemary, and then to the Tykes.
Rosemary looks to Bitte a little bit confused, but like opens her arms to the Tykes.
And Bitte, to give you a little bit of help here, it's almost as if the Yetis, you've met Rosemary before, you've told the Yetis of stories of Rosemary. She fits descriptions of what you said. They're just trying to put A and B together.
Yeah. He kind of like throws both his hands up and wide and goes to indicate, yes, this is Rosemary, who I've mentioned before.
The Yeti pointing to the 5 tykes that you have there.
Rosemary does the greeting motion that she has been taught. And like looks to the tykes and is like kind of like cooing over them, like, oh, look how big you're getting. Oh, you're so strong. Oh, look at you. You're gonna be a bloodthirsty person one day.
That's not a great outcome for these Yetis.
I don't know.
Oh my god, this entire Yeti village is vegan. How could you?
Not bloodthirsty. Well, I mean, they can't really understand what I'm saying, but like, you are gonna be the best warrior someday.
Once again, not really where they're hoping to end up to.
Fuck.
There are a lot.
I'm mixing up the Yetis and the
You're mixing up what
Goliaths.
the humans have assumed Yetis to be and what the Yetis are actually like, which is not a problem per se. It's to say that the Yetis are a lot more like your people than you are like Delnadre or Levi's people.
Okay, so Rosemary then would probably be like, oh, look at you. You are going to have such a good grasp of medicine someday. Oh my goodness, look at you. You're so smart.
Oh my goodness, you're so smart. He's going to be a doctor, mark my words.
Yeah, exactly. It's like she's just doing like that version of it, of like the Jewish aunt who's like, oh my goodness, you're gonna be a doctor. Oh my goodness, you're gonna be a psychiatrist. You're gonna make an invention someday. You're gonna be an engineer.
Exactly. The Yeti continues to gesture to the tykes, almost as if it wants like an introduction and to be more normalized in the humanoid society rather than the Yeti society, as the Yetis are trying to make the newcomers more at ease.
Everyone?
He's trying to make the newcomers more at ease. Meanwhile, cut to the outside of the Scream Hut.
Rosemary takes one of their hands and gives it like a human shake. Like shakes their hands like a human.
Wait, let me pull up.
Give it a half orc shake. Let's go all the way.
Yeah, like a half orc version of a shake.
What is a half orc version of the shake? I want to see it. I mean, I want to know. Like, is it like?
It's like a human
shake.
It's like when you when you like go to shake someone's hand and they're like super overcompensating and they're like really tight grip and like that sort of thing.
Like full on like forearm to forearm grasp, and you like grab them and like pull their whole body and pat them on the back, something like that.
Like I wasn't quite going for like
when you're just like squeezing.
Yeah, I was more going for like the squeezing hard sort of thing, but I'm down to do the like forearm grasp of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator like grabbed the forearm and like just like go for it.
All right, let's go with this opposed strength check. Who's gonna have the stronger grip, you or the Yeti tyke? It rolls pretty pathetic. It rolls a 4.
Well, I rolled a 3, so I am not a strong person.
You feel as though like the Yeti is like crushing your hand. The Yeti tyke, I should say, is like crushing your hand as it like responds to your like strong grip with an even stronger grip, and it does not let go.
I imagine I'm like used to this because I'm not very strong among the orc and half orc community. So, like, I'm just like, yeah, kid, you do it.
It just, like, shakes your hand vigorously as you shake its hand vigorously. And both of y'all just, it continues until you get tired of it. And then you, like, do you let go first or does it let go first? What is your willpower on this?
God. Willpower is probably Constitution, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. It rolled a 14.
I have a 16.
It gives up first.
Ah.
It kind of just like it shakes its hand and it's like as it just like it runs away. We'll say it's this red one over here. And it just kind of like runs back to its mommy or daddy. We haven't really decided that yet. We haven't discussed that yet. The other Yeti though, and as you see the 4 tykes getting ready to just shake your hand, perhaps Biddy wants to introduce them. Bitte.
Yes, everyone. This Rosemary Dale, obviously Levi has more present at the moment. But this is Cold One, and puts the hand on the one next to him, and then walks on. This is Warm One. These, including the sulky one over there, are our children. They don't
Are
have names.
our children?
Our children.
Sorry, one more time. I have audio processing disorder.
Are our children.
Are our children?
Yes.
Your children? Or Clan's children?
No. Bitte's children.
With the 3 of us.
So you were a part of this.
No,
Yes.
as I explained earlier, there are a couple of these Yeti tykes that are less furry and more Goliathy looking.
Rosemary's so excited! It's your babies!
So we have so Bitte, we have Cold One and Warm One. And then Sulky One. Is there a better name for those besides Cold One and Warm One?
Oh no, they don't have names yet.
That's true. All right, so I will rename them as Cold One. And this one will be Warm One. And the
other 3 are our children.
And then you have Sulky One. And then you have the other 2, which are just called Our Children. Is that a good way to describe them, Bitte?
I mean, well, he was just referring collectively to these 5 tykes.
Oh, okay. So the other 2 have not been named yet, specifically.
Yeah, no. Like specifically, none of like
naming is
for
the
ease of everyone involved. Like naming happens when adolescence.
Okay, so naming happens at a specific age.
So does that mean that the 2 Yetis that are large and romantically involved, do they have a name, or are they also just family?
The 2 that are
over here next to you. So you have the one that you wrapped in.
Oh, the 2 pale ones?
No, the Yetis, the actual, like the big Yetis.
Okay, yeah, no, the big Yetis do have names. He doesn't speak their names, but he is picked up from their convention.
Fair enough. They have names.
But they have names, but like their proper nouns, he can't make those sounds with his vocal cords. So he just himself refers to them as Cold One and Warm One.
Oh, Cold One and Warm One are the Yetis, not the Tykes.
Yeah, no, those are his partners.
My apology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just go with this one as.
So these are your Yeti partners.
Yeah.
And now we understand why he is called Yeti-mated.
Well, we always assume.
I am like vibrating with
I'm
excitement.
saying to Levi, trying to keep us both calm.
Yes. And
Now we know for sure.
now that we have introductions out of the way, that is an excellent time for us to cut off the session. Dun dun dun. So we will resume next session, which, given that is December 18th, likely won't happen until 2023. Oh my god, guys, we won't meet for a whole nother next year.
A whole year.
Ha ha ha. Cue joke.
Uh-huh.
I know the joke you're trying to make, but I think the way you worded it doesn't work very well.
Shut up, Blake.
We're not going to meet for the entire next year. That would be us not meeting until 2024.
God damn it, Delnadre. We will not meet until next year.
So much psychic damage.
So
Corey has been owned.
that is a good opportunity for
Dustin is now the DM.
We'll cut off here. We are Everybody's a Mimic. We are a 5th edition D&D webcast playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. This was our 26th session. I hope y'all enjoyed listening in and participating in this fun time with us. I kind of lost my word in there. Hope you join us next time. My name is Corey. I was your dungeon master. I was also joined by all 4 of our party members, which we will now sound off, starting with Carson.
Everyone just go at once.
Say our names all at once.
Okay.
Carson,
3,
Blake, Ben,
Carson
Rachel.
playing Pizza Yet to Maiden.
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hi, I'm Blake.
I'm
Do anything.
Wonderful.
Oh, God.
And it's like herding cats, but we enjoy it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you join us next time. Bye-bye.
And a merry respective holiday to you all.
Yes, I hope you all have
Happy winter holidays.
happy winter holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
You.
Yeah, you have to say them all,
Satanism.
or else you're being exclusionist.
What winter solstice? For those who don't recognize any holidays, December. For those who don't
vacation.
For those who don't
Happy
recognize
Saint
the
Lu-
Roman
say happy
calendar.
Saint Lucia Day to those who celebrated it.
Saint Lucia Day. Okay, good. What do we call people who don't recognize Roman calendars?
3 Kings Day to any of you who are,
Three
looking
Kings
forward
Day?
to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Happy Yule to all you pagans out there.
Yes, Yuletide.
I used to have a Yule, or I used to have a pagan roommate. We celebrated Yule. It was great.
Okay, so question though, is pagan atheist or is it pagan?
Pagan is different than atheist because pagan is like its own thing. Pagan has Samhain and Yule and the one that happens around Easter. There's like the fertility ritual, and there's one for the summer solstice that I'm forgetting the name of.
There's also just like a billion different forms of paganism.
Yeah, there's different forms of paganism. Paganism is different than atheist because paganism is
Happy Saturnalia.
Yeah. Atheism is just the belief that science.
Life Day, which is traditionally celebrated by the Wookiees.
Is that in the what is it called, the Star Wars holiday special that never got aired again?
Yes, they celebrate Life Day.
Happy Feast of
They
Winter
sing
Veil.
under the sacred tree of life and reminisce.
Wait, that's Wookiees and not the small creatures?
Ewoks.
Thank you.
Nope, it's definitely Wookiees. Because
Do
that's what's in the holiday special.
Do Ewoks, you uncultured swine?
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but...
All right, wait, real quick here. I'm looking up Ewok Shadow Night Festival and Sithmas.
I mean,
I have
they
a feeling
just never had a holiday special, so how would we know?
Sithmas doesn't make sense.
It sounds like a bad thing.
I have a very important question. Hold on.
Are you down with the syphilis?
Are we still live?
We're still live.
We are still live. We're talking about holiday things on live.
An alternative that for Christmas that some people, specifically like atheists and other skeptics, have chosen to celebrate is Newton-Miss.
Newton-Miss? Okay, wait. Do you follow like the laws of physics, like in gravity, or is it more like
it's named Newton-Miss due
Newtons?
to it being Isaac Newton's birthday on the old style date.
Old style date.
What does the old style date even mean, though?
Oh my gosh, that's just going deeper.
Well, we're here for it. We haven't left live yet, so it's still going.
And the new style indicate dating systems before and after a calendar change.
So apparently in Australia, there is a non-insignificant number of Jedi as religion. So there was a commercial filmed for other religions in Australia, and Jedi were a part of it. And also they were like, "Oh, Muhammad is late," because they're not allowed to portray the Prophet Muhammad. So they were like, "Oh, he's running late," so they didn't have to like actually portray him in the commercial, which was a very smart move for them.
Why didn't South Park take that approach? Muhammad's not here yet.
They could have, but South Park is just about equal opportunity pissing people off. So they were like, "Oh, it's funny as long as everybody is angry," which has spread into an unfortunate amount of like white dudes who are just like, "Yeah, I don't care about anything. I don't care about climate change because of Man Bear Pig, and therefore everything is funny as long as you make fun of both sides, as opposed to like one side is specifically shitty and the other side is like actually based in science."
I love how you targeted white dudes there.
I mean, am I wrong that South Park is targeted towards white dudes?
You're not wrong. I mean,
I think that is indeed their intended audience.
I'm sure they could argue otherwise, but
that is their intended audience, is like white dudes who haven't formed a political opinion yet.
Wonderful.
And therefore form a political opinion based on South Park, which is like all sides are bad.
I can't wait
instead of like
I can't wait for one of them to run for office.
Most sides are bad.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, if we're going by the two-party political system, both sides are bad. But there also is, like, outside of the binary, there's, like, okay, one, like, you can have an opinion based on science, or you can have an opinion based on pseudoscience, and that depends on you.
What a wonderful send-off.
Anyway, hi.
Wait, I have one more nugget of wisdom.
We're saying bye, Rachel.
Hold on, I have one more nugget of wisdom since we're sharing funnies. Did you guys know that the Veggie Tales, the guy who created the Veggie Tales, specifically did the Old Testament because he promised his mom that he would never portray Jesus as a vegetable?
Just what? I gotta ask though. Like, why would that ever come in a conversation with his mother? Like, no, Mom, trust me, I won't ever portray Jesus as a vegetable.
Well, no, I imagine he was like, "Hey, Mom, I have this really cool idea that I'm gonna pitch, and it's to indoctrinate children."
Are we talking about fucking Veggie Tales now?
Yes. We're gonna indoctrinate the children to the teachings of the Bible by using animated vegetables. And she was like, "Well, you better not portray Jesus as a vegetable because that's sacrilegious." And he's like, "You know what? You're right. I won't do that."
Okay,
wait, so does Jesus never appear in VeggieTales?
Yeah, Jesus never appears in VeggieTales, but I was at a talk by the creator of VeggieTales, and he talked about like how the company was doing great until he fucked up, and like there were specific movies that were doing horribly, and then he was really relying on the Moses one, which is like when he gets eaten by when the asparagus guy gets eaten by a giant whale, and it did really badly, and so he had to sell the company. So I was at a talk by the creator of VeggieTales, but yeah, his mom was like, "Hey, don't portray Jesus as a vegetable." So Jesus never appears in VeggieTales.
I love that. I don't know. I want to know what brought you to a talk by the creator of VeggieTales.
It was like, I don't remember what the fuck it was, but like, I was at a talk by the creator of VeggieTales, and it was wild, because I was like, dude, this dude made VeggieTales.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
How you feel about
but it was like I don't know, it was like an inspirational talk that wasn't a TED Talk.
Okay, let's go around real quick and let's each say what vegetable we think Jesus would have been in VeggieTales, and then let's wrap up.
All right, got it. I think Jesus would have been a potato.
You bastard! How dare you steal my choice?
You can agree with me. It's okay.
No, I'm going to not agree with you because I refuse to choose things that people have chosen before. I think Jesus would have been
Yep.
something. Probably like
probably he went with the original. Jesus didn't appear in his days.
I mean, like what even vegetables do they grow in the Middle East? Potato is a very good assumption, but is it true?
I think Jerusalem, I think Jesus would have been a Jerusalem artichoke.
Hey, you know what? Stuffed artichoke sounds really delicious.
Okay, wait, hold on. It's crazy that you said a Jerusalem artichoke because I swear, in our 10-minute break, I walked out to the living room and my partner was out there watching. She was watching a cooking show, and in it, this guy was peeling a vegetable, and he was like, "I don't know what this is. Is this ginger?" And the guy was like, "That's a Jerusalem artichoke."
Interestingly, so one of the weird quirks of the Jerusalem artichokes Wikipedia page that I would never have expected to see on any kind of vegetables page is that there is a section titled Pyramid Scheme.
What? Okay, for a second there, I thought, how could you mistake a ginger with an artichoke? But then I googled Jerusalem artichoke, and it's basically ginger.
I have Middle Eastern cuisine pulled up on Wikipedia. It says leaf vegetables include many varieties: cabbage, spinach, chard. Root vegetables such as onions, garlic, carrots, and turnips.
I was gonna say Swiss
beets.
chard.
And then squash, tomato, eggplant, and okra are distinctive elements. I think carrot would have fit with the aesthetic, but I think okra is unique enough that they would only give okra to Jesus.
That's fair, but also like there's lima beans in the show, which I don't think are necessarily Middle Eastern cuisine. So like, I think Jesus.
No, I don't think like the entire purpose of the show was Middle Eastern cuisine, but I think Jesus would have been some Middle Eastern vegetable.
That's really bold of you to say.
You were wrong. Actually. There is a Lebanese dish that uses lima beans, so therefore it is effectively. And it's vegan too, so it really fits well with VeggieTales.
But I think Jesus is usually depicted as like tall, and like kind of thin. So I think maybe carrot.
Oh man, Jesus would have been a great rhubarb.
Like, here's the thing: I was thinking like this is made by like a Western cultured man most likely, and so like potatoes are white. Just saying.
But they're also tan, so you could really you can swing both ways.
Fun fact, the
tan
white
on the outside, white on the inside.
The white depiction of Jesus is usually some pope's son, because it was really popular to depict the pope as like that dude's son in order to promote that dude.
Okay, wait, let's go back to the Jerusalem artichoke. The Wikipedia says it was first cultivated by the indigenous people of the Americas. So that means that it wouldn't have even popped up in Jerusalem.
Artichoke is the Mormon Jesus. Mormon VeggieTales Jesus is an artichoke.
Well, there you have it.
Wait.
Am I wrong?
It's been used to make spirits, so canonically the Jerusalem artichoke can turn vegetable into wine.
Well, there you have it.
My guess is he'd be a little sheaf of wheat. I know it's not technically a vegetable, but I think there's a lot of good symbolism. It's tall. It's got kind of a golden hue that people would appreciate.
I could see
symbolism of like, this. I am the one who makes the bread.
He is the bread and the wine, so I could see him as wheat.
I can see that too. But would it be like
and he is made of many parts, but he is one body because he's a sheaf of wheat.
Yeah, I need to know, is he like a bushel of wheat or like a single strand?
A bushel.
I think he's a bushel because he does the whole like
Well, but
loaves
wait.
of bread and like
Take,
loaves
eat of my body.
loaves and fishes.
In
yeah, eat of
VeggieTales,
my body,
they're
use a bushel.
always described as one thing. It's just one asparagus, not a bushel asparagus.
Yeah, but
Okay,
he's,
then it's a fat ass piece of
he's Jesus though, so like he's many. He's fucking God incarnate.
the
He
one
is
from
God's
many.
son.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to limit? Are you trying to limit how Jesus can express himself? How dare you?
I have a follow-up question for Carson. Carson, would you say that this wheat Jesus, his hair could be described as amber waves of grain?
Sorry,
Nah, too American.
Listen, I grew up Lutheran, but like I'm also like kind of a little bit agnostic in that I believe every religion has at least a grain of truth because it's just human trying to see God through our own eyes. So I just
When
find
you have
that
to look at your life through heaven's eyes.
look at your life through heaven's eyes.
Hey, I think we're getting a little close to copyright here.
Yeah,
sorry,
so
I have to sing the song from fucking Prince of Egypt because it's a fucking banger.
So we're gonna go ahead and
I'm sorry.
Fucking Danny Glover too.
We're just gonna go ahead.
Danny Glover?
That scene is Danny Glover.
What the fuck? Okay,
that character is Danny Glover. It just occurred to me he might not have sang it, but I hope he sang it.
He was too young to sing that.
No, are you thinking about Donald Glover or Danny Glover?
Yeah, Dan.
No, Danny Glover, not Donald.
Don Glover is a different
childish,
person.
Not childish Gambino.
Okay, that's different.
I'm too old for this shit.
Okay, so
Danny Glover.
So yeah, we're gonna.
We can also accept that
Right.
regardless
I
of
love
how
you
you feel
guys.
about VeggieTales.
I love you guys. We're going off on a tangent.
The Chocolate Bunny
Five
song is absolutely a
tangents.
banger.
The best song in Prince of Egypt is Playing with the Big Boys Now. All right, off we go.
Yeah, 100%.
That's valid.
Steve Martin.
Valid.
Steve Martin and Martin Short.
See you next time. Enjoy the last 30 minutes of her nonsensical nonsense. Bye.
Love you.
Nothing about that was nonsense. That was our purest content.
That was pure. That was pure good shit.
We laid out our souls.
That was great.
We talked about
That
vegetables.
was we went into Prince of Egypt. We went into fucking VeggieTales. Like that's the good shit.
We'll
Sorry.
see y'all in the new year.